All right, guys, it is Friday evening. It's kind of like Friday Night Lights. We should maybe got to rename it. Guys, my name is Rick Ginn. If you don't know me, I am the Rick in the Flip with Rick. You guys probably know my son, Zach, and we go live 4 days a week. We went live yesterday. Don't worry if you missed any of it. You can go over to our YouTube channel. It's all stored on there on Flip with Rick and check it all out. So on Friday nights, it's kind of the dad show. So Zach kind of lets me run loose in what I want to do. And it's pretty cool because you get my version of it. So I've been doing quick background. I've been doing wholesaling for 20 years. I love this business. I really enjoy it. And I do this, me and Zach do this whole thing for free because we just feel a change is needed in wholesaling, and learning how I learned back 20 years ago is ridiculous in today's current society. So wholesaling is nothing more than a basic entry level to get started in real estate investing to really get you financially free and minimize your risk. And that's what we're here today. So here's how it goes. Today, actually, we have a really, really cool topic. So we're talking about sales training and how to explode your wholesaling business. And I'm going to share the facts that most people won't share with you on the difference between a mediocre wholesaler and one that hits it out of the park. One that's been doing it 20 years and is financially free and has taught tons of people how to do it just like I do it for free. There's some slight differences, but I'm telling you, they are major. They are the difference between this working out for you and it not. So pay attention. I'll do a slideshow presentation for the first probably 30, 40 minutes. And then we're going to go in. Everybody's getting online. If you want to do a free coaching call, it's one-on-one. There's absolutely no charge for it. All I ask is you get in line, you wait patiently, have your notes ready, and ask quality questions. Ask questions so we can help you out. If you want to work on a deal, or listen, if you're just getting started in wholesaling, that's fine too. And you got a basic question, take advantage of it. I am here 120 minutes, 2 hours. It's up to you if you're going to take advantage of it. The smart ones take advantage of it. It's okay. And guys, if you're shy, you do not have to do the video. You can just, you can do audio on it. So I don't care. I could care less if you put it on there, but have a question. And remember, when you ask a question, everybody's pretty much got the same question. So if you guys are new to this channel, go to freewholesaling.com. Me and Zach have created a course to get you started in wholesaling and actually get you to make your first 100K. We don't hold anything back. It's not a sales funnel, and it's there for you because I want to help out as many people as possible. The frustrations on trying to find a coach that actually wants to help you out without selling your first child is epic right now. And I want to fix that. I believe you should have some money in your bank account before making life-changing decisions, 5, 7, 8 grand, whatever it is. And who better to teach you than me and Zach? 25 years combined experience. And by the way, guys, I do wholesaling full-time. It's what I do. I did some really cool deals today. I'm talking to, I thought I lost it on Tuesday, but it looks like it's going to go through. So you have to stay on people and you have to work with them. So today we're all about exploding your wholesaling business using sales training. I promise you what I'm going to share with you right now has never, ever been talked about in the wholesaling community. And guys, I'm not just winging it. I'm telling you, it's 20 years. It probably took me about 10 to 12 to really understand these concepts. So I'm not going to go over basic sales training. We're going to get like deep in your head to show you the difference. So, but guys, go over to freewholesaling.com. If you're new to this channel, go, hey, Rick, you guys go live 4 days a week. That's right. So what we do is go Tuesday through Friday, 5 p.m. Eastern time. Click that subscribe button. You'll get notifications. We will never do a live that is not actually live. That's a trick a lot of teachers do to try to get more attention. To me, it is just fake advertising. Don't do that. And how I gauge if you guys are connected and what you're doing, use the comment sections. Let everybody know what market you're in. If you want to pair up with somebody, work with somebody, and they're in your market, then that's great. Make sure you vet the people. I don't know everybody personally. I do know names, and if you come on here regularly, I will recognize you because I love when people are putting in their best effort. So everybody on this program is tired of just, you don't want to be average. And I'm going to share the tips and secrets because I definitely stuck in the 9 to 5 rat race, and I made a decision. I just could not do it anymore. So at 33, I woke up. My son's been doing this since he was 16. And, you know, my goal is to get you to get like your 4-year-old doing wholesaling. I know that's a little bit extreme, but I'm here to tell you, we got 15, 16, 17-year-old kids absolutely out there doing this business because they're taking massive action. So I want you to do that. So guys, give me a little love on the like buttons. And let me see here. Let's see who we got here. Oh man, we got a full house tonight. So awesome. So as I said, wholesaling is a entry level tactic you use in real estate. And for some reason, people want to charge a lot of money to do this. I personally don't believe in that. And I'm going to here and help you out. What do I get out of it? We create a legacy. The more people I can help, the more like-minded people we can get. I think the internet's awesome. I have the ability to connect with you. I couldn't do this when I started, and I feel I owe it back to everybody who wants to get started wholesaling, because I remember the first day I started. I remember the day I taught my son. I remember everybody I've taught in this business, and I actually truly love this. So the difference is you can sit here and educate yourself till you turn blue, but at some point you are going to have to take action. And I don't care if you pay someone to do it for free. No one's going to hand hold you through everything. You actually have to go out and do this. But here's the key, guys. The reason I do wholesaling is I always go back to why I got into wholesaling. People say, like, how'd you find wholesaling? I found wholesaling because I was tired of struggling to pay my bills. I was a slave to a corporation, and I never had any time, and I was stressed out. I was way overweight, and I just didn't enjoy it. I enjoyed the weekends. They were okay, but this nasty thing came around Monday, and I got tired of it. I took a massive risk, and it paid off huge. I'm going to be honest with you. It was not all pretty. I had a lot of fun doing it, but I had a lot of sleepless nights, and I'm here to help out as many people as I can. But here's the key. You got to have fun with what you do. So you got to get energy. I'm just tired of boring shows. Like I'm never going to speak from my ego, because it doesn't matter how much money I have. I do just fine. What my focus is, how much money we can put in your bank account. So I'm going to focus on you. I never focus on the things I have, because my focus is about freedom. And freedom is about having the ability to do whatever you want. I will never, ever trade my time for money. Those days are long over. And that's why we do this platform. It is the best way. And I love the community effort. So guys, if you're new to this channel, I'm going to shock you, but this is the energy level I need. Let's go. Let's pump it up. Let's do it.
Get the fuck out of bed, bitch. Go. Get up, and they got go. Time to wake up, bitch. Get up. Get up. Get up.
That's what I'm talking about right there. Like, it's just who I am. I like to have fun. I love to interject music in anything. And like, whenever it gets like boring or people are falling asleep, man, you just got to shock your system and do it. I like to do that. If you guys are going to do cold calling, you're going out on appointments, find something, get you pumped up. I've spoke to a lot of you. Like, when you get down, I tell you, find your fight song. So you ever watch when two fighters walk in? I don't care if it's boxing, UFC, it can be any sports, and they have a song they walk into, and just you watch the neurological change in their face, their mind, and their attitude. And that's what you have to do in wholesaling. And if you can take that attitude and have fun, guys, life is short. Take full advantage of it. the riskiest thing you can do is do nothing. It is the worst penalty you can have in life. So I appreciate everybody on here. So put it in the comments here. Let's have fun with this. I promise you this video is stuff you will never hear from anyone else, because you could only get the content I've had in 20 years wholesaling through 20 years experience. So I have seen a lot, and I have definitely not seen it all. So if you're struggling with your sales, or you go like, listen, what is that thing I'm missing? Because I'm here to tell you, I tell a lot of people, wholesaling is not necessarily, you don't have to be this crazy salesperson. Like, you don't have to be this used car salesman. Actually, it's the complete opposite. You just have to go through a process to help your sellers out come to a decision. The first thing before I get into it, guys, you have to focus on motivated sellers. This does not, and I repeat, this does not work for retail sales. Wholesaling is about finding distressed properties and getting the best deal possible. So do not mix them up like doing the realtor thing. So I see everybody getting in line there. I will take everybody in the order I see, and let's get into it. So hopefully everybody can see it here. So sales training to explode your wholesaling. Guys, if you are not seeing the presentation, if you go to YouTube, Flip with Rick, everything's there, hit subscribe, and you can see all this, and it's recorded. So especially you guys online right there. So sales training to explode your wholesaling business. I promise you, this is not going to be your standard presentation. Okay. I've worked on this so long, and I've pulled stuff out of my head. Sometimes I shock myself. And the really cool thing of like working with your son, if you guys ever have the chance to work with family, is your kids know you better than anyone. And he pulls stuff out of my head when we do like high-end appointments, or we're buying very expensive real estate. And he's like, how did you come up with that? I go, you know what? The reality is a lot of trial and error. I don't want you to do 20 years of trial and error. I want you to do 3 to 6 months. So let's go. Let me jump into it. So I'm going to start with the basics. I'm going to give you 5 steps that's needed to absolutely explode your wholesaling business through sales. Okay. The first part of it is going to be a little bit like routine, because you cannot skip it. Without it, it doesn't work. So the first process in any sales is just rapport. And that's your ability just to connect with the seller. I'm not going to go into detail of this. It's very common. So what you want to do is when you're going on the appointment, is you want to look for commonality things. Family is usually the easiest one. Look around, look at their hopes, their dreams, look at their football teams. Do not look at their basketball team, because my basketball team got killed last night. They didn't even show up. So hopefully they'll show up this weekend. But I'm a big Miami Heat fan. So the challenge most wholesalers have is when they get in the rapport building, you start connecting with the seller. And honestly, it's easy to start. You just start talking. The minute you walk in the house, you look around and find things. I usually like to keep it to maximum 10 minutes. So if I walk in an appointment, say it's 3:00, at 3:10, I know I have to start transitioning from rapport building to the next sales phase. So many of you guys, like if you're a really nice person, you can put in the comments on there. If you have problems like transitioning from like, hey, you know, I see your kids. I see they love to go skiing. The problem is a lot of times for you to stay comfortable and not get uncomfortable, you stay in rapport building. And guys, this was me the first 2 years I did this. I would spend 30, 40 minutes. And the problem is if you stay in the rapport zone too long, they're not going to take you seriously for what you want to do. Guys, if you want to get on a coaching call, go to Wholesaling Houses for Real. Make sure you're subscribed there. Make sure you subscribe to YouTube Flip with Rick. And on the Wholesaling for Real Facebook page, pegged on the top, is the link to the coaching program. Just click it and you can follow the procedures from there. So you have to transition. So if you find that you're a super nice person and you get stuck in the rapport zone, make sure you watch your time when you go in, and make sure you transition before 10 minutes. Okay. So if you're coming up 9 minutes, just simply say, listen, Mr. Seller, I could talk to you all day about our kids and our family, but let's talk about the house, and I want to learn more about your situation. Where's a place where we can sit down and get to know each other a little bit better? That's it. That's your transition. So many people skip that part because you're uncomfortable to get to the negotiations. You know, it's more uncomfortable when you sit there an hour and a half and you haven't even talked about the house yet. So, yes, Glocka asked, is this live? Yes, it's 5:21 p.m. Eastern time on Friday on the 20th. So it's always live, guys. So, guys, get your transition. It's really, really important. I'm telling you, so many people overlook this and they get stuck in the rapport zone and they don't know where to go from there. The next one is when you transition from rapport, you're going to go into qualifying your seller. So you guys know the 4 qualifying questions. It's all in free wholesaling.com. These are the 4 pillars to question your sellers. And the idea is to make sure you have some sort of motivation in a seller. Guys, if the qualification, if they do not meet the parameters, do not sit there and try to buy their house. You're literally going to waste your time. So I'm going to go through them rather quickly. It's all in the course, guys, freewholesaling.com. It's on the bottom scrolling on there. And let me get the banner off there so we can see everything. There we go. So the first thing you want to find out is motivation. So you don't ask them what their motivation is. You're using your 4 questions as kind of your script. And now I go to motivation. Now I have to engage them in a conversation. So Mr. Seller, tell me what's going on. Like how do we connect with each other? And the idea is you need to do 80% of the talking and you do 20% of the listening. Okay. Let them talk because that will give you all the information you need to find out if the motivation is there. If you keep talking, you can't find out what their motivation is and you're never going to find out what their pain is and you can't help them out. So I'm not asking him, Mr. Seller, what's your motivation? Mr. Seller, tell me how we got connected. Remind me again. And the idea is you want them to unload. It is common for them to start talking way outside the house. My wife left me. I have a sick child. I need to go help my mother out. Remember, wholesaling is just a symptomatic form of human issues. We are solving problems. The real estate is just a mathematical problem. You need to get and connect with the human emotion. Guys, this is why you have to go through the 4 questions. Here's the reality. If you cannot qualify the 4 questions and they only want price, it's literally a waste of your time. Save yourself the breath. My first 2 years, I chased everybody and I almost burnt out. And I learned quickly, if there's not some form of motivation, I'm never going to get a good deal. Once you accept that fact, actually wholesaling is really, really easy. And you can retarget your list to make sure you do it. The next one is you're going to find out about the condition of the house. This is really simple because either you're there or if you guys are doing this virtually, you're asking for details or maybe you're doing a screen share or a Zoom or a FaceTime. Technology is amazing. You can do so much in real estate today, but you need to find out the condition so you can get the correct pricing on it. A lot of sellers will tell you the information. If you're going to meet there and there's a tenant there, they will flat out tell you the truth and take it for word because they live there and they know what's going on with it. Sometimes sellers will lie to you. So look at the clues. If you see the air conditioning make a ton of sound and you go, hey, how's the AC working? Oh, it's just perfect. Make a mental note. They're lying to you. So find out what the condition is and you're going to have to verify it with your eye. And the idea is get a good enough price where condition is already priced in there and you don't have to fight for that last $2,000 to $5,000. The third one, time frame. Why is time frame important? Because if somebody's not looking to sell their house in an immediate time, in my opinion, most people are usually within 3 months of selling a house that are serious. Once they go to 4 to 6 months, you just put them in a follow-up. And here's the key with time frame, guys. Not everybody is ready to sell their house right there. It doesn't mean it's a bad lead. It just means you're timing off. How do you fix that? Massive follow-up and just keep following up till they tell you, I'm not 100% ever going to sell my house. And even then, I don't even take them out of my follow-up unless like they're very, very adamant about it. So time frame is everything. Why? Because if somebody wants to sell a house now, I'm going to put all my energy in that person. Someone's selling 6 months down the road, I'm just going to work with them. And I'm just going to keep following up. I'm not going to go on a deep dive like right off the bat because prices could change and hopefully they get closer to ready selling the house. The key is make sure they contact you. And then the last one is price. And I put next to words, I never ask what their price is. Price is a bad word. It's not a 4-letter word. It's a 5-letter word. Never ask for the price. What are you asking for the property? You need to use the words like need. What do you need to get out of it? What would get you on your way on this house? Don't ever ask the price. Um, price and the word ask, or you're asking price, because now you're talking in realtor world, and unless you want to be a realtor, you don't want to do that. Um, so phase 3, the conversation. I promise you, this is where it's going to get really, really good, and you want to pay attention here because nobody teaches this stuff. Your tonality is everything. Okay, the way you pronounce a word invokes so much emotion. And we're going to talk about your beliefs and everything else that goes along with it. Tonality is everything. Let me ask you, do you really trust someone to say, listen, Mr. Seller, I can buy your house and I'll get it done quickly, and I'm the right fit? Or go, listen, Mr. Seller, I'm here to help you out. I hear you loud and clear that you want to get to your sister's house and you want to be there by the end of the month and you need XYZ. If I can make that happen, I would love to work with you. Is that something that we can do together? See, you got to understand tonality is everything, and so many people don't understand it. So anybody who has kids on this live, you guys are masters at tonality. You don't even know it until you talk to your kids, and you know exactly what I'm talking about. Tone invokes emotion. Emotion invokes the heart, and people can make decisions. If you want to be an order taker, just go with the same tonality. It is brutal. Guys, practice with your tonality. If you have kids, just use exactly what you do with your kids. If you have a significant other and say you want something very valuable and you got to kind of get their endorsement to do it, I promise you, you're bringing in tonality. See, you have to bring the same passion into wholesaling, and it makes a tremendous difference in how your sellers engage with you. They will remember it. If they meet with 3 wholesalers and you are passionate, you invoke tonality, and you're emotional, you will stick out. Here's the reality. Most people want 2 things from wholesalers. They want convenience, which you already understand how that works. And number 2, they want their dignity. They don't want to be embarrassed, and they want to feel like they're really important. And if you treat them like a number and tell them how bad their house is, you're wasting your time. So tonality, I can't stress this enough. Listen to my tone right here. Tone makes a huge difference. I have experimented with sellers. I've used the exact same language, changed the tonality, and I've gotten a deal or no deal based on my tone. And I've watched it time and time again with other wholesalers. I'm guys telling you, if you don't understand your tone, start recording yourself and listen to how you talk to people. It makes a tremendous difference. Okay. So tonality ties into speed. So everybody knows you're supposed to mirror your sellers, and you do. They talk fast, you talk fast. They talk slow, you talk slow. But sometimes you can say, hey, listen, Mr. Seller, I hear exactly what you're saying. So many times we talk about speeding it up. I'm telling you, slowing it down invokes the most emotion. Speeding up just means I can keep up with you, and it shows them respect. Um, every now and then I get some really fast talker. Like I had someone today. I swear I had to focus all my power. They were talking so fast. And then when I would talk slow, they would run me over. But if I talk fast, they would hear me out. So remember, you're always learning in this business. So tonality is important. Speed, how you time it is key. Guys, so many people forget this. When you're meeting with sellers, especially physically, your posture is everything. If you're bent over backwards, if you're constantly looking down, it's important. I'm going to add one more thing, which I didn't put in there: posture and eye contact. Eye contact's everything. You need to look your sellers dead in the eye because it will give you telltales on which way they're leaning. And you will, within a matter of a year, you will learn how to read people. Like there's entire books on this stuff, and I've studied them all. Did you know when somebody looks up, they're trying to find an answer for you? Do you know when they look down, they're ashamed and they don't want to give you the answer? And typically they don't want to tell you the truth. And it goes on and on. But 75% of the population has a telltale sign, and once you can find it, you will know what people are thinking before they even say it. So you want to sit upright, you want to have good posture. If they're sitting, you're sitting. If they're standing, you're standing. You guys know the story on this. So word timing is everything. So not only is tonality important and the speed and how you look in your appearance, you got to time your words correctly. So sometimes if you start out front by telling them everything you can do for them, I find a lot of times they are numb to it because they're trying to find out if they even want to do business with you. So you've got to find places in your conversation to strike at the right time. So if you tell them about how great you are and you buy homes cash and this is what I do, and you tell them all up front, you don't even know what their problem is. You don't even know if they're going to do business with you, and they haven't made any commitment to you. You have to time the words correctly. Okay. You have to go through a process, and it's important. If you randomly keep shoving words in here and there, like you don't know what the outcome is going to be. So I find that timing, if you can put in the right set of words at the right time, it makes a tremendous difference. Let me give you an example. I told you guys earlier this week, I dealt with a gentleman on a very high-end property, very wealthy man. You know what he said? He says, Rick, I don't need to sell this house. And honestly, I was a little bit stumped because I'm used to the opposite. So usually we're going like this. I know you don't want to sell the house, but you need to sell the house in foreclosure, behind in payments, or being evicted. Take the other approach is, he said, listen, his objection to me is like, Rick, I don't need to sell the house. I don't need the money. And I said, John, I know you don't need to sell the house, but I'm confident you want to sell the house. And the timing is what made all the difference in the world and me getting that contract. And I was competing with 3 other very sophisticated buyers. And he said, at the end of the day, he goes, you get me and you connected with me. Guys, this is what I've been doing for 20 years. So word timing, I'm here to tell you, it does take some experience to do. But how you learn word timing is when you lose out on deals, you find opportunities where if you could inject the right words, would it change their mind? So remember, in sales process is about earning people's trust. And if you ever break it, no word timing in the world is going to help you out. So it doesn't need to be perfect, but the really cool thing is you get more experience. Word timing is absolutely amazing. Okay, a couple of tricks here. Never, ever blame your sellers regardless of what they say or what they think. Sellers do crazy things, guys, and you have to be on their side. Okay. I'm not talking about crazy stuff, but like they do crazy stuff to the house and they make outrageous statements and you can't pick them apart for it. I see so many wholesalers like, oh, the roof's terrible. And if you start using words like terrible, ugly, I don't understand how you live like this, you're done. Forget it. They're never going to give you a good deal. You're wasting your time. Okay. Be very careful with your words. Number 2, if like sometimes when I used to go on appointments, I would have like realtors there. My acquisitions guys, they have to deal with this all the time. And I teach them, no matter how bad that person trashes you in front of you, don't fight back. Sellers watch how you respond to negativity. And if you respond and fight back with negativity, you are just like everybody else. So it's important you don't trash talk into your competition. You don't talk bad, especially when they're standing in front of you and when they're not standing in front of you, because the seller's like, why are they talking bad about them? People learn when you talk bad about people all the time and you're trying to get their business, they're just going to assume you have a negative mindset, and you definitely want to avoid that. So, okay, guys, here's where we're getting into the nitty gritty. And I'm telling you, if you can understand this concept I'm about to explain to you, I promise you, you will have a mind shift in how you view your wholesaling and how you're going to approach it going forward. So here's the secret to wholesaling success. First of all, you have to have a belief. Okay. So let's define what a belief is. So a lot of people are like, oh, I kind of know what a belief is. I'm like, trust me. A belief is simply a mental acceptance of a statement in which you personally hold true. That's it. A belief doesn't mean what you believe in is true. Okay. There's plenty of people who believe in stuff that's just crazy, 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 and it's not true. A belief is just a belief. It's basically your opinion. And from a mental capacity, you hold it as truth, and it's good. Here's the problem with that. Most of you operating wholesaling believe a belief alone is what's going to drive you over the finish line for wholesaling. And I'm here to tell you, I promise you, your belief, you're going to have so many arrows shot through it. You're going to have so many people. They're either going to tell you this business is illegal, it's a scam, you're stealing properties from little old ladies, and you're going to start doubting your belief. Remember, you have to protect your belief. And if you don't believe strongly in your belief, people are going to shoot holes in it. And then you're going to start questioning your belief. And once you question your belief, you are done in this business. I watch it all the time. I watch a lot of you when you guys come on these lives, when I talk to you. Why do you think I ask you what your why is? You know why? Because your why is what's going to hold it all together. So if a belief is a mental statement of a statement you hold true in your head, is that enough to succeed in wholesaling? It's not. I'm here to tell you, here's the magic in this. A belief is just, it's a program, it's a software in your head, and that's it. It can be changed, it can be altered at any time. The question is, how do you stick through it when you are getting lit up? Sellers are yelling at you, realtors going crazy on you, cash buyers are backing out on you. You ready? You want to see the big secret, guys? Please give me some likes on this, because I'm telling you, I've never really shared this before because it was really hard to put in words. And it's almost like a sixth sense you have to describe. So we always talk about belief in your why. Okay. Belief alone is not enough to be a great at sales or a great wholesaler. It's just not enough, guys. Have you ever believed in something so much, like, oh, I'm gonna get it, and then a month or two later, somebody shot holes in it and you started self-doubting yourself and you didn't move forward with it? Guys, it happens all the time. And you need to understand that your belief is a starting point. And the idea is you do deals to give you confidence. And once you do deals, then I'll have confidence in my belief. But I'm here to tell you, at some point, you're going to have to take a leap of faith. So I'm not here to talk about faith. A faith is a belief in an outcome you believe is going to happen no matter what, regardless of how or when or why. So faith doesn't really belong in wholesaling other than the initial start. So if a belief is not alone, how do you stick through this business and how do you become a successful wholesaler? You ready? All great people, even outside of wholesaling, is they have conviction. Okay? Let me repeat that. All great salespeople have conviction. So I'm not talking about conviction in the criminal sense. That's a whole nother conviction. So here's the definition of conviction. Okay. It's my definition, because this is what I believe in: an unwavering confidence in your belief. Let me repeat it. Conviction is an unwavering confidence in your belief. So here's what I see the difference from people that are successful in wholesaling or not. Everybody starts out with the same belief. Oh, I can make a lot of money. I can get freedom. If you use your why, it goes down deeper than that. It can never be just about money, because you will fail at that, because sometimes you won't do it. If you have conviction, okay, the word unwavering is key here. It just means, listen, I'm going over that bridge no matter what it takes. If I have to swim across, if I have to take a rope, a helicopter, or I have to backstroke or strap a rocket to my back, I'm going across. And unless I black out and die, I'm going to do it. Okay. So here's how you look at it. Belief is the software to your car, like it's the programming. Confidence, dude, that's the engine and the framework of the car, and you can never change it. And if you do that, I'm telling you, amazing things will happen in your wholesaling career. Okay. So many of you go out there and just have a basic belief. Having a why really helps anchor it, but you have to have some sort of conviction. I like to use the why because I was so frustrated working on the hamster wheel at age 33 and thinking I was providing for my family, and I was just buried in debt, and I was trying to keep up with the Joneses. I had it, man. Like I had my moment, to just call it my coming to Jesus moment. I can't deal with this anymore. Like I can't do it. And guys, at the end of the day, you can go back to your old life. But if you will move forward with churn your belief and drive it with convictions, absolutely amazing things happen. I'm telling you, this is, we got a lot of people on. Guys, conviction. Okay. So you can have a belief. The question is, do you have the conviction to carry it through? I believe your why is the bridge between belief and conviction. How do I know when people have conviction and a strong why? They stick through wholesaling. The people that just have a belief and the minute they get an arrow shot in it, they quit wholesaling. And that's the difference between a super successful wholesaler and one that just does a few deals just here and there. So I'm going to tie this all together. You go, man, Rick, that's so basic. I'm telling you, it's the fundamental. You ever notice when somebody gets on a super hot streak in like wholesaling, they go, man, I just tied up 9 deals. I got 3 more coming in. And then the other guy or gal's going, I've been trying this for 8 months. I can't even get a deal. I don't even know if this stuff works. See, their belief is falling apart. There's no conviction to drive it home. And the why is probably falling apart too. And they're looking at plan B. So if you understand that, let's tie it all together here. Okay. I'm telling you this, your conviction will make up for any of your deficiencies, lack of experience, your age. I don't care. I've already told you, if you're super young and you're starting out wholesaling, make up for your lack of experience with enthusiasm, excitement. It is a huge difference. And I'm telling you, it will more than make up for it. Your conviction is everything. Have you ever been any type of coach, or you had like a really good coach? Their conviction of their belief in you is unwavering. It never changes. Even if like you're 0-15, they're like, we can win this game. And I remember like, why does that coach believe me so much? And I remember when I had a bad coach, they never believed in me or the team, and it just drove me nuts. Okay. So here's the other key to tremendous successful wholesalers is you have to believe in this. Read this on your screen. I gotta turn my head here to look at it. The person that cares the most about helping the sellers will be the buyer. End of story. Whoever cares the most. Have you ever heard of such a crazy piece of philosophy in your life? Honestly, if you take this statement for what I have on the screen, if you care more about your sellers, amazing things will happen. You have to care the most. It doesn't say in there you need to know the most. It means you have to care the most. Okay? Guys, we're almost done. I promise I'm jumping on the coaching calls. So you have to care more about your seller's interest than they do. Wrap that around your head for 2 seconds. You have to care more about your seller's interest than they actually do. Once you understand that, I help out so many sellers, thousands and thousands. I met with over 10,000 plus. And guess what? I help them out even when I know they're screwing up. Sometimes they're fighting for price, and you look around the house, I got cockroaches going everywhere. I got rats screaming across my leg. And I'm just like, you have got to be kidding me. See, you have to help them out. Think about a child. Oh, like if you let a child do it, they would eat. If you let them eat unlimited amounts of candy, they would do it. But you're not helping them by doing that. So as you become more experienced, you are there to help people out. Most people in a dirty, nasty house don't even understand the surroundings they're in. You have to help people out. Okay. I've saved at least 25 people from literal death by buying their houses. And I can go into details on these stories. People that were being abused, people that had like animals running around, like defecating all over the house, and they were being what do they call it? Ammonia poisoning from cats. I bought a house from a lady once. She had 53 cats. You know why she sold it to me? Because I cared the most about her cats. It wasn't the house. I went and found a home for every one of those cats. It was an absolute nightmare, but I did what I had to do because my conviction was so strong to be a successful wholesaler. I was willing to go above and beyond all means to get it done. And so people say, Rick, how do you do this 20 years? I just care about people. I want to help them out. And I lead every conversation with the seller is like, if I can't buy your house, I will help you get your house sold. And it always puts them at ease. So we're just about done here. So let's wrap this up. Sellers will actually feel and connect with your conviction while confronting their own beliefs. Let me read that again. Sellers will actually feel and connect with your conviction while confronting their own beliefs. So what I did is I just turned that around on you. Is if your conviction's strong and your seller's beliefs are off, and I'm here to tell you, more than half the time, the seller's beliefs are way off. Your convictions will override their beliefs and you will actually do them a favor. Okay. Even if you don't get the deal right there, I've had people come back for a month or two when I don't overbid on a house and they go, Rick, you were right. Those two people put me under contract 3 months later and nothing ever happened. And you were the only one honest enough with me with the price and the condition of my house. And you were very respectful and you made me feel good. I made a mistake. And honestly, I know you're the right person. So if you understand that conviction is the driving seat for wholesaling, and if you don't have strong conviction, you are going to struggle in this business. I'm here to tell you, I've experimented with this and it is the difference. Okay. So I hear about your guys' beliefs, your whys, conviction. So you're going to start out with a belief in wholesaling. It'll get you financially free and get you where you want to go. And it will give you the freedom for the things you want to do with your family, friends, and everything you want to get done in life before we exit here. The why is going to be why you want to do it. That's all it is why. I want to spend more time with my wife, my kids, whatever it is. Like, for instance, with me, I didn't get a lot of time with my dad when I was young. I always felt like I missed out. And that's why you kind of see the way Zach is, because not that I over made up for it. I just made it a priority in my life. So my conviction is just set in stone. And the thing is, it doesn't change unless you don't allow me to buy a house. That's the only way you can take my conviction away. And even then, I'm probably still going to fight it. I wouldn't stop. So guys, that's it. That's the key differences. I'm telling you, I know it sounds simple. If you just jumped in halfway through, let me hop this off here. This is recorded. You can go back to YouTube on Flip with Rick and go through it. You can pause it. I beg of you to watch this, because so many times we talk about the operations and the procedures of like meeting with people. Like, for some reason, we stop being human beings and connecting with people. And I think it's kind of the world we live in right now. And I'm telling you, here's the one thing in real estate it's not going to change. You can throw a coin at real estate. You can throw a TFN. You're still going to have to interact with humans. If you really think you can buy real estate with never, ever talking to anybody and just click of a button, you're better off in the stock market. I'm just here to tell you the truth on it. So what I'm going to do is answer a couple questions for the people on here, and then I'm going to hop in. I got Connor. I see William. I see George, Terrence, Rahil, and just try to be there if I bring you on. If not, I'll put you in kind of a waiting queue. So, oh my gosh, we got so many questions here. Let's see. Oh man. Awesome. So I see some regular, guys, I actually love like your feedback and comment. So guys, if you can share this with anyone, give us a like, it's just much, much appreciated. Let's just jump in there and start helping people out here. And I will hop on with the people online. Anybody can come on here. There is no criteria other than subscribing to our YouTube channel and our Wholesaling Houses for Real. And let's do it. Don, are you there?
Yeah, can you hear me?
Good, man. What's going on?
I'm good. I needed help filling out a probate application. I'm not sure what to put for the answers.
Okay, hold on here. Okay, say that again.
I needed help filling out a probate application. I'm not sure what I should put for my answers.
Is that like a county document or?
Yeah, so I called them and they said because it's bulk data, I need to fill out an application.
Okay, so you have the application in front of you?
Yeah.
So what kind of questions are they asking you on it? Remember, guys, every county is different. There's over 3,500 plus counties in the United States. And every one of them, you ready for this? Every one of them has a different procedure. Welcome to the U.S. Go ahead. I'm used to this.
Okay, so one of them, I'm wondering, should I put down my LLC for it, or should I just use my personal name?
Put your name on it.
Okay, and then um, so there's two different options. One's a one-time distribution for $88 an hour, or a monthly, and that's would be like 1 cent for old cases and $10 and or 10 cents for new cases.
Okay. So let me ask you this, Connor. Have you talked to anybody in the probate department yet?
Yeah, I sent them a email.
Okay. So I want you to understand, like, if you make it easy for them to make it hard on you, they will do it every time.
Hmm.
So you've got to understand that you know how the court system works? It's who funds the court system?
The taxpayers.
Okay. Do you pay taxes?
Yeah.
Okay. So I'm always asking questions like this. So I have to pay for information I've already paid for. I don't understand. I'm confused here. I'm just trying to get a list of people who have gone through probate to see if I can help them out. But so you have a policy you charge for public information. I'm confused. And you got to start playing with people, because if you roll over, remember the person at the desk is just be giving paperwork and instructions. If you make it an email, they're just going to copy and paste every one of you guys. So I get a lot further when I talk to people in person. You get an email, you're going to get a cookie cut. You are nothing more than a number. There's nothing personal. You're never going to connect with them. It's to pay $88 for probates, like insane. Like, unless they're giving you online, do they give you online access, or are you getting it in person?
Online, I think.
Okay, so you got to find out what that. So that $88 fee, is it a one-time fee, or does it cover you for the year?
So it's $88 per hour.
Yeah,
How long
you'll
it
go
is?
broke. You'll go broke. That's insane. That's the craziest thing I've ever heard. That's not right.
Yeah. And it
So
says,
remember, this is public information, guys, and this is where you have to kind of stand up for your rights a little bit. They're just trying to discourage you. And everybody who's heard me on before, you have to be extremely consistent. And the only way to be consistent is to be persistent. But you have to be polite while you do it, and you have to understand what you want to accomplish. If I did that, I would be broke today. Do you know how many probates I pull? It's insane. If I paid $88 an hour, it's crazy. It doesn't even make sense. Like, so let me get this straight. When they pull the probates, which is already a list compiled by the courthouse, I basically got to pay someone $88 on top of it. Keep in mind, you already paid for it with your tax dollars. Look on your property tax bill, on all your federal taxes. It just, you understand, if they let you charge, they'll take it in a heartbeat. It's just more discretionary income for them to spend on whatever they want. I'm just here to tell you guys, if you do a standard email, this is what you're going to get. You got to go ask like really hard questions. And by the way, most of the time they're going to say, listen, let me get my supervisor and let them have him talk to you. And then they might do this. You ready, Connor?
hmm
Oh, we're going to have to get the city attorney involved. Perfect. I would love to hear his explanation on this. And just be super nice. But like where I come from, like, so most of the counties that I pay for online access for convenience, I either get it for free, or the most I pay is like $200 a year for the entire year, all cases, no questions asked. $88 an hour, dude. So what if he takes 10 hours to pull like 15 cases for you? What are you going to do? Like, that's crazy.
Yeah, right.
So I'm just telling you, like, I would get past the paperwork and talk to someone, because you have rights. So this is public information. And honestly, these courts are trying to overprotect people's privacy. But the reality of a probate is to make a public announcement. So if you, the public, can't find out and you have to pay for it, it's not fair. And I promise you, there's some sort of law being broken somewhere when you do this. Worst case scenario, you can fill out what they call a FOIA Act, which is Freedom of Information Act, and you force them to give you the information. But I promise you, they're going to fight you. They're going to difficult, and they're going to drag it on for months if you do that. Only do that when you have to. Connor, what I would do is try to get down there and talk to somebody in the court system, because you're getting standard cookie cut answers. And honestly, if you've heard what I've talked about in this entire presentation, if your conviction's strong enough to get probates, you're going to find a way to get them. Don't accept people's emails. Don't expect any of that. People have a hard time rejecting you in person. You realize that, right?
Yeah.
So I'm just telling you, like all this stuff you guys say, it happens to me all the time. I have gone through the battle with everyone. And I know exactly what to say to them when they like, just, you got to be extremely persistent and you got to be educated and you got to be nice. You can't be like a crying Karen. I'm going to call
Hmm.
for you on you. You're not going to, I would do that for a final request because it makes their, by the way, when you ask for a FOIA and you fill out the paperwork, it's a nightmare for them. And they can get up to a $10,000 fine per incident. So I don't want you guys going around threatening it, but like talk to them. So if that employee can't answer it, just ask for their supervisor.
Okay.
If probates are public record, why would I pay $88 an hour to pull it?
Hmm.
And so here's what the other thing, Connor, they're going to go, well, you want a custom list. No, just give me all of them for this month. Nothing custom about it. There's no programming. Just take the data. If you want to email it to me, if you want to put it on a USB drive, heck, even if they charge you $10, by $88 an hour, $88 an hour says you'll go broke doing it. And if you do it, you're a fool. So does it make sense to you?
Yeah. No, that
I'm here
answered
to tell
most
you,
of my
man, like
questions.
it's not like a private company went and got this information. People went to the court something, they applied for a public record, and you have the right to have access to it as a tax-paying citizen in your county. And if you accept anything else, you're being bullied.
Yeah. So this
Doesn't
is
mean it's
for a
going to be easy.
virtual. Would that be, should I still say the same thing?
Well, at least try a phone call, but you
Yeah.
can't do an email, like, because you're not getting anywhere with it. So
And then for two more things, it says, um, how will this provide substantial benefit or serve the need of this judicial system or other government agency as opposed to private interest?
I mean, the most ridiculous question I probably ever heard. Think about what that question is. They just ask, how are you going to benefit the court system? Number one, the court system's about helping the citizens of the county. It's not about benefiting the court system. But honestly, you have to answer with an emotional answer with it. I want to help people out. Something from a helping standpoint. I'm not going to tell you what to say because I don't want everybody cookie cutting it because then it
Hmm.
gets abused. Just say, listen, I want to help people out that are in probate that need help with any of their assets or anything like that. And I don't use the words asset. I'm going to use their home, um, estate sales, stuff like that. I just want to help. That's it. What they're trying to tell you is, are you going to? So here's the problem, guys. Here's why you're getting all this resistance: is marketers go in the courthouse and they collect this data, they take it for free, and then they sell it back to you. And they've abused the system so bad. Now you're paying the price and being screened for it. So you got to let them know you're not a dangerous marketer. You're just trying to help. The other route you can go, which is a bit of a stretch, but you can tell them you're doing research on probates in your county and you want to learn more about, um, where about the history of what's going on in the county and where the populations are moving to and stuff like that. So research, they really can never question it. I don't like doing that, but basically, whenever you do wholesaling, you're doing research anyway. So
Okay. Yeah. That's all my questions.
just keep going at it. I'm just telling you, I tell everybody on here, water shutoffs, any type of court leads, they're just getting harder and harder with it. But it's all public information, guys. Like if you go down to the courthouse, they have to legally provide you that information. But keep in mind, they're regular employees. They have bad days. They have struggles, and they're probably not paid a lot. So if you try to run them over and be a Karen, you're just going to make your journey harder. So just be persistent. And I shared a tip yesterday. When I used to wait for probates and code violations, they used to say, listen, just sit down and go around that corner and sit down there. No. Don't ever do that. So the person who sat you down, try to make sure you take a seat or lean against the wall and stare at them until they acknowledge you to get what you want. You know why? Because they get really annoyed with it. And it's just like, if you go in that back room, I promise you they'll forget about you. So if you're ever like at the DMV, make sure the person like calling your number is like looking right at you. It's like being at a busy restaurant, like waiting at the bar, like, and you waited 45 minutes. If that hostess doesn't see you, you ever notice if you stare at them, they call you much faster. So the squeaky wheel always gets the, what is it? The grease, the WD-40. and you got to be that squeaky wheel. Just keep at it, Connor. I've been through all this. Everybody on this live goes through it, and here's the key: is some counties are easier than others. I have one county that's so brutal, I feel like I have to bring a lawyer. And then I have other 3 counties. It's like it's always emailed to me. It's really simple. So if one's bad, sometimes you just got to switch counties a little bit. But remember, if it's this hard for you, imagine how hard it is for a realtor or anybody else trying to get the information. So I look at it as a positive.
Right. Yeah.
Okay. Let me know how it works out. Just be persistent. That's all I can tell you on that one. Okay.
All right. Thank you.
Okay. See ya. George, you there? George. Okay, I'll come back to you. So, uh-oh. I got 2 on there. Rahil, you there? Rahil, I'm calling you. Guys, if you're not going to be there when I call your name, I'm going to give the opportunity to somebody else. I'll come back to you. I know we got the man on the other side of the earth here. What's up, Jonas? How you doing?
I'm doing good. How
I
are
can
you?
always tell you it's got like a dark background, so I know it's probably like 1 o'clock in the morning where you are, right?
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, so I'm wondering, like, let's say you have a seller, the house is vacant and you need some repairs. That's really their motivation. They don't have like they can sell whenever, and
Okay.
they're kind of like shut off. They just want to get to the point. For someone like that, rapport building wise, like,
So, actually, if you watched yesterday's video, me and Zach kind of went in deep on this one. So there's a certain type of seller that, well, there's a certain, I don't know if this is like a US thing, like it's in other cultures too, but I'm sure you have people over there, like some people just want to be strictly business and they don't want you to get to know them. You know why they do that? Because
wanna
they
get
feel
this right.
they feel you can't take advantage of them and you're not going to be one of those slippery salesmen that slide in. But remember, here's the difference is I don't want anybody to be a cheesy used car salesman. Like we don't trick people into selling their houses, but you do have to befriend them. So the fact that you know that people usually like to do business with people like that are common and they can connect with is just easier. Okay. By them removing their emotions, they're just trying to make it a ticket order system. So you got McDonald's over there, Jonas?
Yeah.
I'm not going to comment, but McDonald's is known for quick, cheap food that's fast. There's no emotion like in anybody, and that's why they're switching to automated machines to take your order. And honestly, if you can't break that, you will never get a deal with someone. I'm just here to tell you. So the other way is they start dominating you in the conversation. Like, hey, Jonas, give me your price right away. Give me your price. I don't have time for it. Let's just cut to the chase. Is that the attack they're kind of doing on you?
Yeah, sometimes.
Or they just can't. So, like, I don't know how you guys feel, but like on the report slide, if I can't crack a laugh, a smile, or find a personal comment, you've got to just throw a Hail Mary. Yeah, so I think you're at a point where they don't even want to try to connect with you, right?
Yeah, and I don't wanna. It feels uncomfortable. Like, hey, how's your family? And I'm like a 19-year-old.
No, so you can do so today's like Friday. So it's so funny. She's gonna kill me if I say this. So my wife has this saying where she's like, so we had I believe 2 closings today and 2 purchases. And so she helps handle the coordination of everything of dispositions, acquisitions, and all the title companies. And I always hear it in the background, like she has this thing that makes her comfortable in front. She's like, she gets very difficult people, and she'll go like, "Hey, happy Friday! It's Friday. Let's have fun. It's Friday. What are you doing this weekend?" And she'll kind of roll it in there. And I don't know, man. Like women, so I will tell you, Jonas, women have an advantage over there because they're nicer and they're more connecting and less threatening. But you got to just there's some commonality that you can use. Like Friday's Friday. I don't care where you are in the world. It's Friday. People like their weekends, and that only works on Friday. You hear about the Monday blues. You can pick every day. You got hump. What do they call Wednesday? Like what do they call Wednesday in your country?
Lill lördag, so small Saturday.
Okay. So in the United States, they call it hump day.
Mm.
because it's the middle of the week. Everyone's just kind of like, if I can just get through Wednesday, I'm closer to the weekend. So you can Google all this stuff up. So you got to kind of get to know the culture when you do business in US, which I think you have a firm grasp of it. But like, say the person's like, yes, no, yes, no. Just, you've got nothing to lose, because honestly, Jonas, if you don't connect with rapport, you have zero shot at getting a deal. Ask me how I know. I just dealt with the driest guy this week, all business, complete financial person. And it's just, all they want to do is get down to business. And you just try to get to know them. By the third conversation, we got into like family and sport activities and stuff like that. And I knew I was making some progress, but it was brutal. And I didn't get too deep in the price till I could penetrate it. So try a Hail Mary. Here's what I do sometimes. You have nothing to lose at this point because they're getting close to probably hanging up on you. Sometimes I'll say this. Now, it works better in person, but it will work virtually. Mr. Seller, have I done something to upset you? Did I piss you off? And honestly, they're just like so Jonas, have you ever been hit by somebody and like you had something bad happen in your day? Like you got some bad news? It weighs on you. And sometimes you got to determine, is that person just having a bad day or is this just their personality? And by trying a jolting statement, you just kind of shock them. That's why me and Zach do we do the Fitbit commercial guy, because it's just shocking. It's like he's got so much going on, like it's confusing, but you got to watch it 3 or 4 times to understand what's going on. You need to employ the same technique with it. If you can't, guys, if you cannot build rapport, you have less than a 5% probability of doing a deal. The house pretty much has to be on fire and you got like a hose putting it out. That's the only way they're going to do a deal with you. So if I can't crack a smile or get a laugh or anything like that, go listen, dude, did I say something that upset you? Or it's like, this just a bad time to talk. Sometimes they tell you, I got a lot going on in my life right now. Can you call me back tomorrow or something like that? So the reason I talked and like, you go, oh God, Rick's going to talk about rapport again. Honestly, without rapport, you got nothing. Like there's just no connection. You are an ATM machine without rapport. And so you know that, Jonas. So you're being aware of it. And you're like, what do I do if I can't connect rapport? Throw a Hail Mary. Reposition the call. Fine. So I gave you Monday, Wednesday, Friday, and Saturday. You can use an excuse from those days to make some sort of off comment. Oh, the weekend's here. Oh, it's Saturday. It's wonderful. Oh, I got the Monday blues. Things should get better. Oh, it's hump day. It's Wednesday, and you just kind of pivot that conversation. The idea is when someone's given a yes, no answer, you got to find a way to have them form a sentence. If they don't form a sentence, you're going to be in trouble. And what do you got to lose by doing a shocking statement?
Not much.
Hey, Miss Smith, what color shoes are you wearing right now? She's going to be like, what are you talking about? Go, listen, just trying to lighten the mood here, man. Like, I'm hoping you got like some pretty blue, nothing cheesy, just something goes, what is he talking about? And if you kind of do that, like you can wake people up. Tony Robbins uses it a lot and it works really well. When people they get cold, he just kind of like, you got to find a way just to penetrate the armor. And if you can penetrate the armor, you can have a real connecting conversation. Without it, you are an order taker. And wholesaling is the complete opposite of order taking. That's what I'm probably going to get in a lot of trouble here, but that's what a lot of realtors do. Not all realtors, but most realtors are order taking. How much do you want the house listed for? Great. I'll put it on the market, take some pictures, and take phone calls. That's not selling. That's order taking. A good realtor will work with them and go, listen, I know you want that price, but remember our goal is to get the property sold at the end of the day. So you want 775, but I'm here to tell you, if we market at 749, we're going to get a lot more action and I could probably get you close to your net price you need. The other one's going to take you an additional 3 months and you're going to have to come down on the price anyway. So I need you to kind of do that. So just shake it up. And listen, when you're on the phone, you guys are doing it virtual, is they only hear your voice. So the stuff I talked about, tonality, speed, and by the way, kudos to you for mastering the English language, because if I wasn't born with this, I don't know how anybody learns this language. It's so complicated. It's ridiculous. That's a US thing. I wish somebody at a young age taught me multiple languages, because whenever I talk to people in other countries, every one of you speak multiple levels of language. And I think it's really, really amazing. So, and honestly, if you can learn that, you can kind of learn anything. How long you spoke English for?
Like English, it's you watch TV, so like from like 11 years. But I tried learning German, and no,
Yeah.
I can't.
So what's the name of your native language there?
Svenska.
Okay, so give
Swedish.
me a sentence and then tell me afterwards what you said to me.
Hej, jag heter Jonas. Hello, my name is Jonas.
See? That's an icebreaker right there, although probably not good if you're doing it virtually because you don't want them knowing you're like in another country.
Yeah.
But it's I'm just telling you, just mix it up, Jonas. Like you're doing everything right. You just gotta like honestly, guys, and why I started with a report, because if you don't have a report, it doesn't work. Like think about that. Like you might as well just go in the store and order something because they don't need you if you do that. So that's the difference with it. So just shock them. Don't say anything crazy. Don't say any like foul language. You're not going to help your cause with it, but just something crazy.
Yeah.
Are you having a good day? Did somebody step on your foot? Because I just feel a little bit of pain here. Is there something I can help you out with? Something you want to talk about? You'd be surprised. What's the worst they're going to do, Jonas? Hang up on you? They actually might do you a favor at that point. And
Yeah.
by the way, I don't want to do with, I hate doing business with like really grouchy people. I've had deals before, like they're really good deals that people were so difficult at the end, I just gave up. I'm like, I ain't doing that. Like, I don't care how much money I'm going to make. I'm not doing that. And ask Zach. I had a lady once before. I had to fill in for someone. They're like, it's a really good deal. I got there. The house smelled so bad. She goes, if you don't stand in this house and sign this contract, you're not getting it. I go, I'm not standing in that house. I threw up. I swear to you, you can ask Zach this. I threw up outside twice. Actually, it was the last real appointment I ever went on. This was like, I want to say it was 3-4 years ago. And I was filling in for somebody because someone messed up. And I'm like, we'll do anything for our company. And I love going out on them, but it just smelled so bad. I go, I can't. I go, I don't even know how we can sell this house if we can't stand in it. And another guy bought it. He overpaid for it, and they still own it, and they never finished fixing it up. So what else you got, Jonas? Anything else?
You said create a budget.
For marketing, right?
Yeah, that's right.
Okay.
For years on my spare time, I've been fixing up and flipping cars. So
Okay. How's that going?
I'm quitting it now and trying this, but
Okay.
so I've saved up like 5K, and
Okay.
should I disperse that so I can right now I'm dispersing it so I can stay above I can stay marketing for 6 months.
Okay.
Should I extend that to 1 year maybe? And
I got it. Jonas, you just need one. You guys, you'd be surprised. I can't tell you how many times early in my career when I got down to it, I'm like, man, like I'm getting down to the wire. And for some reason, when I got down to the lowest amount of my marketing budget, I would pull a deal out. I'm just like, wow. And it took me 3 years to understand if I would just consistently market, I would plan for it, budget it, and I disciplined myself, that I never ran out of deals. So the problem with most wholesalers is they get a deal, they get money, they go out and blow the money, and they got to start all over. And it's just this ridiculous cycle. So there's a lot of changes going on in the world economy, especially in the United States. Our stock market's real and people are trying to find what's going on. It's just a matter of time before people don't feel super wealthy with their house, because this, was it 10, 12-year run in real estate? I've been around a long time, guys. I'm just telling you, at some point, stuff has to go a little bit sideways. But here's the cool news. It doesn't matter in wholesaling. It doesn't matter if a market's up or down. We do it. What's in it for today? Jonas, just stick it out. You have some of the, so keep in mind, this guy's thousands of miles away from the United States with like a 6-hour time difference, probably 7. And he's up at like 1 o'clock in the morning trying to figure out how to do this. So, I don't want to hear like, and here's a really cool, Jonas doesn't complain. He just comes up with a game plan. If he comes up short of cash, he spins off, I'm going to do this and keep doing my wholesaling. So you have your conviction with it. So just keep going at it. And by the way, Jonas takes advantage of all these calls, and he's a long way away, and I don't charge him a dime, but he knows exactly where I am. It's reliable. He knows I've been doing this 20 years, and I genuinely want him to succeed. And I don't have an agenda like, when he succeeds, he's going to give me $10,000. I don't care. Like, I don't need 10 grand from, like, I don't need it. I don't even want it. I want him to go spend that money and grow his business, because if I started at Jonas' age, God, I probably would have blown all the money, though, to be honest with Jonas. I would have blown it all. So let me get on and help out some other people here.
Yeah. Thank
And
you.
we'll talk, buddy. Thank you. Awesome, man. Okay. I'm going to bring up Shawnice and Alicia. I'll bring you up right after that, okay?
Hey,
Hey, how you doing?
pretty awesome, man. How about yourself?
Good. We've spoke before, haven't we?
No, we've never spoken
No,
before.
okay.
No,
Awesome.
we've never spoken before. This is the first time I've been here. I found you guys. So let me just give you a quick background.
Okay.
So before COVID, I sold Volvos. Most money I ever made in my life selling cars. And then I, stumbled upon sales. Through that, fast forward to now, I was just like a wedding and event manager, pulling like 70-hour weeks, like
Oh, wow.
with a lead time for a contract of less than 1%. So I quit my job. Then I found you guys. So
Okay.
number one, obviously, like I need to change my situation. You guys and Grant Cardone, like that's all I listen to. I'm actually skipping his business summit to be here with you.
Okay.
I know that
Where are you located?
I'm in Maryland. I'm in Baltimore, Maryland right
Okay.
now. Yeah.
And by the way, guys, I love Grant Cardone. I started following him back in 2010.
Really?
He gave me a lot of good advice when I had some struggles when the market was absolutely difficult, and I questioned wholesaling, and I did it. But Grant's kind of old school. He's not a wholesaler. He knows how to run businesses, and he's got a lot of discipline. The problem is we have to, everybody in wholesaling is trying to get started and up and going. And I find Grant's philosophy is good, but I'm going to be brutally honest with you. It's not going to help you out in wholesaling other than your drive. So if you understand that going in, so because I met 4 or 5 people that signed up for a huge coaching program like down in Miami. And I had to have a long talk with them. I go, listen, I like A for the effort, but like you've got to understand you're trying to figure out wholesaling, and Grant's teaching you how to take 100 and 200 grand and put it down like an apartment complex. You still got to get the 100 to 200 grand to get to that level. He gives great advice, and I love he gives free real estate advice, but he's doing it with your own money. So until people get their own money, like I would focus on wholesaling. Grant has great motivational stuff, but I'm going to be brutally honest, his general real estate course, unless you have discretionary funds and stuff, it's useless to a wholesaler. And most people are in this because they want to get financially free and they want to minimize their risk, and they are not scared of the hustle muscle. So go ahead. I'm just filling you guys in on Grant. I love Grant, but like some of his stuff
I
is
have
like,
it. That's funny.
yeah. So I even had his he made a great sticker once that said no negativity allowed here, and I stuck it like all over the office. Everybody got all ticked at me, but that's how I live. Like I don't want to hear people complaining, because complaining doesn't fix anything. So go ahead. If you dealt with wedding planning, this should be a piece of cake to you. My God.
Yeah. So basically I watched you guys' 90-day challenge. So I made a goal 2 years ago to make $3.3 million in 5 years. I just didn't know the vehicle. So here I am shooting out on this. So May 3rd, I started. I think I've called anywhere from like 900 people, or let me be clear. I think I skip traced 900, only got maybe 150 real numbers.
Mm-hmm.
I don't believe the market's saturated or anything like that. So I get home from work today because I currently am a carpenter. So I do remods and things like that.
Do you have any jobs you don't do?
No, sir.
My God.
I'm a single mom, so I got to get it, man. I have no time.
That's a job right there. That's a full-time job right there. How many kids you got?
I know. Well, guess what? Spellman is 73,000. So I got to start somewhere, Rick. You know what I'm saying?
How many kids you got?
Only one, sir.
Okay, good. Okay. And remind me again, which market you in?
I'm in Maryland.
Okay, got it. Okay, go ahead. I'm listening.
So I get home from work today. I immediately start cold calling. And then on my way to my job site, I seen a for sale sign. So the gentleman is actually, I don't know how much information to give and not to give.
Well, don't give addresses. Try not to give names. I don't want to run it, but just kind of go over the story and just tell me how I can help you out with it.
This gentleman is doing an exchange of some sort with the IRS, if that makes sense to you.
Okay.
Okay, so he has 7 properties. The other ones are remodeled. It's myself and another investor that are interested in the 2.
Okay.
So he has COVID right now, so he wouldn't be able to meet me until next week. But I let him know that I would pay for a lockbox to be put on both properties so that way I can go and see them. So the one is a 3-2. It already has a lockbox, so I'm going to go there at like 7 o'clock in the morning and then call him at 8 and just
Okay.
get in there right away.
Okay.
My problem is he's firm at 90. It's a 3-2. I don't really have that much information because I can't find it online.
Okay.
Comps in the area, like Zestimate is saying 97.1 and Redfin says 117. So
Okay.
like I'm not really sure what other information I'm pulling to be able to get that max allowable offer. Besides like, I know what I need to change my situation, but I know that I don't care to lose the deal at this point. You know what I'm
Okay.
saying? Like I've
So,
worked really hard.
okay. So I want you to understand this. Shawnee's, right?
Yeah.
Okay. I'm here to tell you, everybody got to understand wholesaling. You will not take down every deal. A lot of this is, if you equate it to baseball, a person that goes in the Hall of Fame swings a 350 batting average. That's the best of the best. That means 70% of the time they're failing. Okay. I used to get in a little bit of trap my first 2 years. I tried to make every deal work, and it cost me some serious pain because I got stuck with properties I couldn't move. Okay.
Right.
The one thing is, if you can't make money, you work for free in this business.
Right.
So sometimes you do have to let stuff go. And I'm just here to tell you. And sometimes you get better deals. You can't chase sellers. Even though God in every fiber in your bone wants to do it, especially your first few deals. And you actually have to do the opposite mentally with them. And it's tough because it goes against everything in your grain. I want. So here's the reality is, you want the property, but you don't need it. Okay. It's the truth, but you got to kind of let that person know it. So you're competing with another investor. So a lot of these properties, you can look at the clues. I'm going to tell you the good news, bad news with a guy or gal that owns 7 properties. So he's probably trying to do like a 1031 exchange. Does it sound familiar?
That's what he said.
So do you understand what a 1031 is?
Yes, he's trading something for something, but he has 14 properties in total.
Correct. So he has to go find a like-minded property that has to match it, and he gets X amount of time to earmark that property, or he has to pay the full taxes on it. If he finds a property to exchange it with, he doesn't have to pay the capital gains on it. So they like to do that. So here's the bad news. Somebody who owns 7 properties, they're a little bit more savvy, especially with a beginner investor, and they will mess with you. And I'm just going to save you like on this. So I had somebody on here yesterday. It was only, he had 7 lots. So I was like, man, is this the same one? It's not. I always tell people, if somebody came to me with a package of 23 houses, now I have the ability to take them down and fund them. But I remember in the beginning, I used to spend, I'm not kidding you, I felt like I spent 15, 20 hours working on comps and visiting and comps. In the end, they never did a deal with me. They actually used me like a wet rag, and I learned. These people are sophisticated and they will use you. And unfortunately, it is part of the learning experience. But I'm just telling you, if somebody has 4 or more properties, they are more of an advanced investor, and you need to have your guard on, because I get it. You don't buy the properties. It's a learning experience, but I don't want you to waste time with them. I find if you start and they'll go, listen, give me an offer on all of them. It's complicated. No. Yeah.
He said he would only sell one to me.
Okay.
He's only looking.
So if he wants 90 and the property comps somewhere probably between 110 and 120, did he give you any idea on the condition of the property?
No.
Okay. So here's the wild child. Don't try to force comps. Come up with a range. I think you already kind of have it, because comps are comps. You can't manipulate comps. So many investors go, I'm just going to pick the high comp and I'm going to ignore it. Like, you will get spanked in this market if you do that. So find the range. Honestly, before you put any more effort in it, go look at the property, because the interior is going to tell you if you're on or not. If that thing's in bad shape, you can't do it at that price. If it's in really good shape and you know how to hustle, I think you'll be really good with cash buyers. You'll do fine.
He said that, okay, so maybe I answered incorrectly on the condition. So he did say that there was work to be done. There were tenants in there. So I know for a fact that it is like a little bit, at least up to standard. Like you could put lipstick on a pig. You know what I'm saying? That's just what I said. So if he said he paid his tenants to move. So I am going to get in there first thing. Yeah, that's.
Yeah, I mean, look at it, because here's the problem is if you spend all this time doing comps, you go through all this energy, like it sucks to be disappointed in wholesaling, but I almost expect it to a point, because remember, 70 to 80% of them are going to fail.
Right.
So if you know that going in the game, like don't put your energy in a property that's not going to work. Also, if he's competing with somebody else and that person doesn't buy it and you don't buy it, he's the one that has the problem, not you. Like it's got to make sense, because remember, you got to sell it to a cash buyer and you got to sell them the vision. They're like, this, for another $5,000, I can just pick it up off of MLS and they're ready to go. And so you got it. So I go look at the property like I'm selling it to my in-cash buyer. I'm like, okay, and just kind of make a mental note. So the big things are, I'm a Florida guy, but roof, air conditioning. So you can look at that stuff and you know what this stuff costs. And since you are it sounds like you're skilled and you understand the stuff. But listen, I'm going to tell you this, Shanice, do not caught into fixing up any of these properties yourself.
No,
That's not where the money in wholesaling is. I did it. Let me tell you what, I remember I hung an entire drywall ceiling, and that's when I retired. I just couldn't. It was so achy walking around on those stilts for 2 days. It's painful. It was cheap, but I hated it. And the only time I ever hated wholesaling is when I became a fix and flipper. And it seems like everyone has to get out of them. With you having a background, like I get it. If you got to do something to get a property ready real quick, that's a different story. But like you can't commit a week or two because it will destroy your wholesaling business. So listen, look at your comps, look at the range, go and look at the property. And then are you meeting with them physically, or is it all over the phone?
All of it's over the phone. And
where's he located?
He's located he's very close to me.
Okay, so he's got COVID. I get it. So he's going to have a hard time meeting with anybody else too. But the problem is these investors, they get stuck on a number. And remember, they're not emotionally tied to the property. And they're just but here's the difference. They're married to the number. Like they were really hard about like the number. So another way you can approach him too is, have you found out if he's got a mortgage on the property?
He does not.
Okay. So if he gets dead set, real estate's real simple on this. Either you get incredible cash terms, which is a wholesaling deal. If he's completely stuck and you look at it and go, oh my God, it's a little bit, this is a little bit. Here's what I normally do. Like if they're there, I give them the shock face. Like, I don't think this is what we talked about on the phone. And the idea is, my goal by the end of that conversation is to have him unwind the price, not me. If you can do that, you can, because listen, the reality is you probably only got to get him down 10 or 15 grand to really make it work, but you'll be able to go in there and look at it. So when I'm close to someone's price, I get excited because nobody ever gives you their best price right off the bat. They never do. You don't either. And that's what makes us human. So you can get in there and kind of just say, listen, you go back and go, man, when you said a little work, what did you mean by that? Because you know it. And not to insult him. Yeah.
I did have him give me a number because I let him know that my job site is right around the corner. And there I'm putting in a bathroom in the basement. So when he said 3.2, I'm like, wow, it already comes like that. Great. But he said that he told the other investor, send me your contract, I'll sign it. And he never sent it. So he said, I'm not married to these properties. You send me a contract, I'll sign it. But I asked,
there's got to be a reason. So if the number's not working out, I just ask and I go, how many contracts have you been sent on this property? And sometimes wholesalers, there's a lot of really bad ones out there. They just send contracts, and they want to put it on their contract and they try to figure it out later. I always tell you, if you can have the hard conversations up front, your life's easier. Because if it doesn't work out, you just move on. And then if the guy can't sell it in 3 to 6 months and he liked how you treated him and you were fair and you left the door open, you have a shot with your follow-up.
Right.
And so many people burn the bridge when they do it. But a lot of times I'll say, listen, how long do you want to keep playing this game? You've had 5 contracts. At some point, you got to look at the data being told at you. It's a little bit overpriced. It needs some work. Right. I think I'm the person that can put it together. Your worst case, Shanice, you could look at the repairs on it. And if he completely shuts down your cash offer, just because you don't have experience doing creative financing, just do the simple line. Are you open to a creative solution? Because then you could go find someone to do the repairs to the property while you work on that creative solution, get it up to par. I'm not talking about doing novations. I don't do novations. I don't believe in them. I think a novation is a canceling of one agreement to replace a buyer. It's an advanced strategy, and you do not want to start out doing those. But you're just asking, well, listen, if we can come to some sort of arrangement where maybe we can get someone in here to do the work to get it up to par, then I might be able to give you this better number. If you give me a few months to put it together and then come up with like a structure, he's not living in the property. You just want to open the door. And then if he opens the door, you get on these lives. I'll help you out. Send me a message and we'll help you out best we can. But that's how I learned creative financing, guys. When people wouldn't take my wholesale offer, I would change my hat and go, I kind of walk away. I go, wait a minute. Are you open to a creative solution? And either they're going to go like this, get the heck out of here. I don't do that stuff. And they'll go, okay, that's what I thought. I go to the third party, or they go, what are you talking about? Like, well, what do you mean? I go, well, listen, you've tried to sell it to like every investor in town and nothing's worked out. What if I thought outside the box? I guarantee you a positive outcome and I make it a win-win situation. Is that something we can discuss? Because, well, what are you thinking? I go, well, let me look around and ask you a few questions. And that's when you go, do you have a mortgage on the property? How long have you owned the property for? And just kind of stuff like that. And then you could orchestrate, like, you know what the repairs are going to cost. You could do some like really good things. So I'm going to put this up here while you're on here. Okay. So I'm killing two birds with one stone. So Bosco asks, what's wrong with novations? I'm just here to tell you, novations is this sexy little technique that is being rewrapped and regurgitated in the wholesaling. It has nothing to do with wholesaling. I'm sorry. Okay. A novation is not a contract or an agreement. A novation is a technique. You cannot, it's never one document. That's a complete lie in this business. So I've done novations before. They happen naturally and they take experience. And if you start out and you say you buy a novation course or something like that, understanding you are going to partner up with a delusional seller. And if anything goes wrong, you are going to be held 100% accountable on all acts, and stand in front of a judge and explain to him that I did this contract, I replaced it with this one. I made him sign a power of attorney. I recorded a ridiculous lien against the property. You are going to get eaten alive. I'm going to tell you, I've seen novations attacked in court 10, 15 years ago, and homeowners, the courts look at homeowners as the victim every time. And if the homeowner doesn't understand what you're doing, you can't do it. I'm just telling you guys, like, if you want to do innovations, do them. It's an advanced strategy. A novation is a replacement of one contract with another. It's not anything else. There is no, remember, you got to record liens. You got to do power of attorneys, very, very advanced stuff. And remember, if a homeowner is not happy with what they get in the end, who are they going to come after? You. And that sounds like a headache. I've done them before and I don't enjoy them because it's, let's face it, the reason why you're doing innovation is why the homeowner's unrealistic in the price they want for the house. So you understand on the contracting side, when you put a lien on the house, you have to be a professional about it and do it correct. So here's what I'm telling you is look at the condition of the house and go forward to see what you can do there. And if he completely closes the door on you, like it's not going to work out, just say, listen, are you kind of like tired of playing this game? He's like, what do you mean? And just say, listen, you open to something like creative and just see how he reacts. Either they, in my experience, it's either a positive or negative reaction. Sometimes with investors like that, they go, get that stuff out of here. I'm not playing that game. I'm like, okay. Yeah. And then you just kind of wait. But here's the really coolest thing, Shauna, is if he blows you off and this other person, that means the property's going to sit around forever. Do you think prices are going up or down over the next 12 months?
So I also day trade in the morning.
Oh my God.
No, seriously. So
that's a dangerous job, man. Because I've literally.
So I just trade. I'm not an Einstein. I just trade 2 inverse ETFs and that's it. 100%. Like I'm not an Einstein here. Okay. So I'm sorry. That's my pug. He's like ridiculous.
That's okay.
So here's my last 2 questions are, okay. So as we've stated, I know sales. So it takes 200 phone calls to get 4 yeses and 4 appointments. 2 of those are going to cancel. One of them is going to say no of the 2 left, right?
Uh-huh.
How many leads do I need to skip trace? Because I want 100K in 60 days.
My son did it in high school. I'm just
Okay.
telling you. Hey,
So
guys,
how
you
many-
gotta, everybody makes it sound like it's so tough. It's really not.
No, I don't think it's hard at all. I just think I think you have to dedicate to the phone. Like
Agree.
Jordan Belfort said, if your wife's going to leave you, pick up the phone. If
I
I can't
agree.
afford lunch, I got to pick up the phone, man. I
get
don't know
it.
what else to say. So how many leads would you say? Because I only drive for dollars. I only call vacants right now, like liens that are not owner occupied, like vacant properties. How many would you say I need? And then I only have one more question because I know there are like a few other people here.
So it's hard to nail a number down because it's based on people's experience, their
Just
market.
ballpark it. I want to just hit a wall. You know what I mean? Like when I pick up
So
the
what's
phone.
the most amount of cold calls you've made in a day?
Oh my God. So one, I'm not using a multi-dialer.
I
So
get
I'm just using Grasshopper. So it's about 70.
Okay. On average, I'd say you're going to have 500 contacts to get a contract. On average, guys, I'm going to be honest. I've watched people do it in 50. I've watched people do it in 10,000. Like it averages out. The key here is consistency, and keep an eye on technology. Shanice, you're going to be better at this than me, but there are some tools out there. I've watched like the from the Mojo and all these different dialers. Man, it gets confusing, man. I watched a 6-line dialer. I'm just like, who? I couldn't tell who we were talking to. And I'm telling you, here's the downside of dialers. They burn people out. It is very, very, very taxing. I get it, but I'm just telling you, people are like, oh, I'll get a 5-6-line dialer. I go, you've never done it before because you have no idea what that entails. Don't ever go past a 3-line dialer because you would have to be non-human to talk to that many people. Now, if you can get it and it's reasonable and you can make it work, then that's great. You're really good at talking to people. The idea is to get the best quality list and talk to people and be as efficient as possible. I personally, the days of calling 10,000 people, this stuff's over. It's overplayed. Yeah. It's expensive. What's your time worth? All that data, you know what it costs. First, you got to get the list. You got to skip trace it, and then you got to call it. And if you're not doing it, you got to pay people. So I saw someone that go, I got they posted, I got a $44,000 deal, no details, no nothing, just a graphic. And somebody asked him, how'd you get the list? He said, I had 35 cold callers. I'm like, you just lost money. It's impossible, guys. You can't operate on that. So I love cold calling. I think you're really good at it. What I need you to do is you just come up with a marketing plan and then do it on like an Excel spreadsheet, a Google sheet, and commit to it and do it because you got to run it like a business. And if you go, well, I only feel like making 20 calls today and tomorrow I'm going to make 70. Yeah. So you can have like weekly targets, monthly, quarterly. And once you do that, it changes the game and how you operate.
So you're saying like, if I'm driving for dollars, that's my marketing plan. I need to find X amount of leads.
So driving for dollars is a method that's basically putting a list together. It's just
okay, so that's the list.
So first you got to start with your list and then you just reverse engineer and go, okay, how many people can I humanly contact without driving myself completely crazy? Because you still got to take care of the kid. You still got to make income for your family and you got to find that medium there. I tell people, like, I'm going to tell you, mostly Johnny, people hate cold calling. I'm not a cold caller. I suck at it. It's not my favorite. My son, he'd sit at the dinner table and just like, hold on, Dad, hold on. I'm like, I go, man, I never thought you had this in you. And like, you'd be surprised what people do. And I'm a direct mail guy, but that's how I started. And that's how my confidence, but I was a door-to-door guy. Like you give me 54 closures. I knocked on 4 and I would have to knock on 75 doors to get one deal. Yeah. And that's how I got into the business. Then I found bandit signs. I was really good at that. I figured out how to do it. And then I graduated to direct mail because I felt I could scale it a little. If the calls come in, I'm really good at talking to people, but I had to get a little bit of a bankroll to do it. So you're good at cold calling. You like to do it. Just find a way you can maximize it without taking yourself out. And if you can find a piece of software to double your effort a little bit and it's cost effective, go for it. There's a lot of competition out right there right now. Everyone's trying to step on each other to get like cheaper stuff. That's why we recommend using like PropStream and Batch only because there's efficiencies in it. That's it. especially if you're doing virtual markets. Like there's no other way to do them. Like because you can get, so we get 10,000 leads out of PropStream. It's extremely valuable. You know what I used to pay for those 10,000 leads? It was ungodly. It was like $800 to $1,200 a month. And now I get the whole thing for $97 a month, and I can run comps and do everything.
That's what I hate.
It's a no-brainer to do stuff like that. So look at things that will go, okay, I'm not hiring an employee, but I can maximize it. And remember, you only need one deal. I promise you, when you get one deal, you're going to be super excited. So if you listen to my earlier presentation today,
I did.
Put your why, put it on your bathroom mirror. I tell everyone, they laugh at me, and make sure you use an erasable marker, not a Sharpie, because it's a nightmare to get off. And then you have a belief system there, and your why should tie your conviction to your belief. Because if you say, listen, I'm going across this bridge no matter what happens, and someone goes, well, Shanice, what if I take the bridge out? What are you going to do? I go, I'm going to swim across. I'm going to do this. I'm going to do that. I'm going to string a line up. I'm going to get it done. And if you do that, you'll survive, because a lot of times people hit an obstacle and they go, I'm done. This is too hard. So you do so many things. I would love to see you focused in one direction, making a crap load of money and get all the freedom. How old's your little one?
8.
Okay. Boy, girl?
Girl.
Okay. So girls need more time than boys, just from my experience in parenting, because they just, my daughter's going to kill me, but they're different. They need a little bit more tips. They're smarter and they're sharper, and they ask a lot more questions. Boys just dig in the dirt and they play with their toys, and that's it. So I want you to get like super focused on like a marketing plan and just drive you. Because listen, I would hire you in like a heartbeat to be like my acquisitions person in Florida.
And see, that's the thing. I have done hardwood flooring in rec facilities, homewood, commercial, real estate as well. And it's just like, I always find somebody that's like, you know what, be my number 2. And then it just never happens. So it's like,
I know. So you got to take charge of yourself.
I have to do this. I have to do this. There's no other way. It's my obligation. Last question. Here we go.
Go ahead.
So we already talked about writing the contract, man. So I have the contract from, the website. I've been drooling on it. Like I've literally peeled it off my daughter's face. I've been reading it so much. But guess what? Okay. Now it's time for me to fill it out for the guy, because even though it might not go through, I do want to be prepared and close the deal right there.
Okay.
Because I honestly believe, like with the rapport that we built, like I could easily get 75.
Yeah, I agree. So is the contract freaking you out, is what you're telling me? Or
just a little bit, I guess, just in the aspect that like all in the beginning, it's complete English. And then when you go down a little bit, all those thick paragraphs, I was like, oh no, something's wrong.
Okay. So our contract, so you're using the contract we provide at on the freewholesaling.com.
Yeah. Because I like stalk you guys. I'm everywhere. If you haven't noticed, like I'm everywhere.
I'm fine with it. Guys, like, here's what I tell people with contracts. When I went out in the field, I only filled contract out in front of customers, and I asked their permission to take it out of my car. And because I always have a verbal agreement with them first, and I'm sure that's how you do it, right?
Yes.
Okay. Then you take that verbal agreement and you write it down on paper. And like sometimes you fumble through it the first time. So practice on a contract in your home under your own comfort, and have it go, okay, I agreed on 100,000. I would do a deposit for this and close on this day, and just practice and walk yourself through it. Honestly, I got to be honest, these contracts, they don't mind if you make a mistake, because I will tell you, sellers will hold you to your verbal offer so much harder than your written offer. And they will remind you the minute you screw it up. So I love doing it in front of the seller, because they're like, okay, remember we talked about the 100 grand. They go, yeah. And they go, let's talk about the closing date. And they go, well, you need to give me a little bit of time. Well, that's great. How long do you need? And it just kind of opens up the wheel. Whereas if you pre-fill out a contract other than your company's name or whatever, it doesn't work. Like,
the thing is so I didn't start an LLC or anything like that. I was going to set up an S Corp, and then I heard you say something like, get money first. Stop worrying about it was a waste of time.
You're going to spend a fortune on it.
Yeah.
So I own an S Corp, a C Corp, and I mean a lot of LLCs, because every property I buy, I put in a different one. I'm here to tell you, it doesn't matter in the beginning. Don't waste your time and money. Your worst case scenario, if you want to, The worst case scenario is you get assignment made out to your own name and you wash it through your own taxes. The first deal or two is not going to break you. Okay.
Yeah.
Anyways, you need the money anyways. Number two, you can always, since your contracts are assignable, if you want to open up an LLC the day you assign that property and sell it, you can do it.
Okay.
It's no big deal. It's like really, really easy. And like in Florida, unfortunately, so many people are moving to the state. For me to open up an LLC, I went to open up one today. It's a 2-month wait. So just know if there's a wait. But honestly, I have no problem going to other states, open up LLC.
Oh yeah. Yeah.
So those of you guys don't know, I've opened an LLC and I almost feel like almost every state. So Delaware was a big one, Nevada, but like don't do Nevada. It's just not worth it anymore. Wyoming is a wonderful state because there's no income tax there, and they held the information's private. You can't look it up. So if you want anonymity, you can do that. It's perfectly legal. But I do those for rental properties, so like the tenants don't try to harass the owner. So we always have a management company that we have. We have an employee that manages it, and they're not going to try to call Rick Ginn, Zach Ginn, my wife, and like. And by the way, I believe Wyoming is $125, and then it's like $99 a year. That's it. Like you get an article, and they give you an articles of incorporation. You should talk to a lawyer in the long run, but guys, like it doesn't. It's not going to. Your seller doesn't care. Obviously, they prefer you do it personally, but you want to have the option by the time you close, then you can assign it to your LLC if you want to do that for a tax strategy. But at the end of the day, if you're not buying and personally closing on the property, you other than the contract itself, there's no liability because you're not buying the property.
Yeah.
Does that make sense? Don't you dare do an S corporation. It's expensive.
No. Okay. So I'll tell you what, like legitimately in my goal of 3.3 million, I know that like, so one, right. You said, what are you going to do if someone takes the bridge? Well, I would have said, hey, can you just hold on 1 second? I would have ripped off their arms and then used those at oars to get me across. But in reality, it's like, I wanted to be able to open it through a trust. See, I'm trying to do something a little.
No, I know, but that's you know? So like my whole goal is just to get you 100 grand as quick as I can. That's it. The rest we have fun with.
Yeah. Okay.
So after that, then you develop a relationship with Zach and like, hey, I want to do this and that. Like I'm working on like an apartment complex with someone. It's just like, because as you get more advanced, you'll find other stuff and you go, Rick, how do I get millions of dollars of proof of funds? Like, listen, I don't like do the proof of funds, but like if it's a good enough deal, I'll pair up and I'll show you how to make a lot of money. And that's how people brought me along. But I got to get you the first 100 grand. I love your 3 million, but like go listen, 100 grand, like this is my strategy. Jump into the challenge we're doing in June because it's all about taking action and
I'm in your 90-day challenge right now.
Yeah.
I started it when it came out, but I just shortened it because I'm doing other things. And
you understand how an LLC works, right?
Yeah, absolutely. Sole proprietorship.
It just washes through your personal taxes.
Yeah, absolutely. And I'm not double taxed. I'm not double taxed. It's very simple, which I get.
So an S corporation is a conversation you need to have with like an accountant.
Yeah.
And honestly, wait till you do a C corporation. The amount of paperwork you have to do is like outrageous.
Yeah.
The amount of reporting is like crazy. So it's
okay. Yeah, I listened to Jack and he said something about being able to like add your family members and give them a salary. So that's kind of where my head was thinking there, but I'm not there yet. So I can appreciate that. You know what I mean?
Let's get you to the 100 grand and it just the 100 grand will turn into 500 and then that's how you just kind of keep growing it and going with it. But listen, just do me a favor because I don't want you to get into like the carpentry aspect because you look at houses a little bit differently. Like that's wrong. So you're going to have to look at it with a different set of lenses because I've worked with wholesalers that had that background. I'm like, no, you can't look at it like a tradesman. Like, and I know your craft is wonderful, but the purpose of getting wholesaling is so you don't get trapped in that lifestyle because it's taxing on you, especially when you get older. Like it's tough on your hands, the environment and everything like that. So I think you're well on your way. And the idea is when you get into wholesaling, the idea is to focus away where you can do one task and put all your energy in it. And then you can trade stocks, whatever you want in the day. And you take all that discretionary income and then you buy other businesses. And that's how you constantly re-energize yourself. People are like, what do you do after wholesaling 20 years ago? You always do it. You just take the money and you can utilize it and leverage it in other fields that get you excited. And hopefully you can make more money and spread your impact on this world and your community.
You just said something that I know I'll have further questions because I know myself, like, you know, success is my obligation. I don't care. You know what I mean? I'd rather hear 2,000 no's and know that I dialed those numbers. And then I wake up tomorrow and there's a yes, or maybe there's not, but there's another 2,000 numbers. It's free.
Yeah.
But,
So I love that you love Grant Cardone, but I'm like here to tell you, a lot of people like you got to get through the struggle to get like the Grant Cardone stuff because he teaches real estate. But like if you watch him, he's like, okay, we just put down 150 grand and pay the closing costs. I'm like, okay, wait a minute. You got to get 150 grand first because he's talking about doing it multiple times. Us wholesalers are very creative, different people. Like, how can we make 100 grand without pulling any money out of our pocket? And Grant will tell you, like, that's a fairy tale. I've heard him say it out loud.
Right.
And I'm just like,
yeah, I like him for sales. Like,
no,
for the
and he's
and the
dynamite with
motivation
that. And he's
stuff.
extremely consistent and he's a businessman.
Right.
And he knows how to have hard conversations. So anyway, Shawnee's, I'll spend all day with you here. So
I know.
Do me a favor, keep coming back on, keep us updated. Use the stuff we talked about it. And this guys, so many people get tied up in the comps and stuff. You don't know what the inside of that house is. It could be completely trash and it'll pivot your entire conversation. If you spend an hour or two preparing for it, you'll have to go the other way. So I rather look at the house, have your range, and then focus on your seller and try to have a conversation with them and see if you can work out the best. Understanding if they give you a no and it doesn't work out, just keep them in the follow-ups. And if he can't sell it to you or the other person, eventually has to sell it to somebody, right?
Oh, wait, quick question, follow-up, just very quick.
Yes.
Everyone that I've called, right? Everyone that I've added and had a phone number to, how many times do I call them a week? Every day?
That's up to you. You can set the frequency, but like you got to understand, people have a tolerance level. They don't want to be called every day if you've actually spoken to them. So I'm not the cold call expert. Zach is, and he'll pick your brain.
All right.
He still loves cold calling. He'll call anybody. He don't care.
Yeah. All right. I appreciate your time.
Okay, Shawnee's, have a wonderful weekend and update us. Okay.
All right. Bye-bye.
Awesome. Okay. I'm going to answer one question and I'm going to take Alicio here because I am behind. So I get so fired up on like these lives. I love it, man. So, let's see here. What am I missing? Okay. Let me just hop Alicia on here because I'll let time expire. What's up? I can't hear you.
Hey, what's up, Rick? Can you hear me now?
Yeah, man. How you doing?
Good. It's awesome to be on. I've seen your videos for about 2 months now.
All right. Where are you at?
I'm in Phoenix, Arizona.
Okay, man. Wait, it's like, is there a big moving sale to Phoenix, Arizona? My God. Like everybody I've talked to this entire week.
I grew up here, man. It's home. But
okay.
What
can I help you out with, man?
I got some great nuggets here from listening to your conversation with Shawnee's, I believe was her name. Yeah, one thing I realized is I don't really have a marketing plan other than bandit signs. I just got an order of 200.
Okay.
I'm gonna be putting out 100 a week is my goal.
Okay.
And other than that, my question is, my main thing is I have a real estate license. I got it back in 2018. I've never done anything with it, and I've never done wholesaling on my own. I used to do cold calling for some investors, and I would also put out bandit signs for them. So I'm really good at bandit signs. I'm a decent cold caller. I hate to do it, but I do want to get into it and take my real estate business seriously. And I'm just calling you for help on how I can do both. If I should do both wholesaling and traditional real estate, and just some help with a marketing plan.
Okay. So how did you wind up with your real estate license?
So my real estate license, this was during the time I was working with investors, cold calling for them and putting up signs with them. I kind of got motivated and I'm like, hey, I want to get into real estate. My thought was, I'm just going to go get a license.
Yeah.
Turns out getting the license alone doesn't pay the bills. Got to get some sales.
No, it actually causes bills. So
yeah,
whatever. You got your license, just kind of, and so I always tell people the license thing, unless your state requires it, and you guys know exactly what I'm talking about. I'm not going to like go over this. Is
right.
It's not going to make you a better wholesaler. It's not going to protect you. If anything, in my opinion, it creates a bigger liability because the question is,
which is what I'm worried about.
Yeah. Are you representing the seller's interest or you're representing your interest? Honestly, the only people I've ever seen, I don't know everyone. The only people I ever get sued as wholesalers when like there's an issue with are the ones with the license, because it's easy to take it down. Oh, he's got a license. He took advantage of me. I didn't sign disclosure. I get it. I believe in disclosures and they help, but the reality is, like, the fact that you have to do disclosures should give you warning that you're already in hot water to a point. So the problem is trying to switch your cap. You could say one wrong word and they get upset. You can sue a realtor for anything. They can sue the broker. And most brokers settle quickly with their errors and omissions. And that's why I'm just not a big fan. The problem is a real estate license is geared towards making you a realtor, right? It has nothing to do with wholesaling. They teach you almost zero. So got your license, decide to keep it or not, move on past that. If you want to do real estate and some listings on the side, it's up to you. Just make sure you understand the disadvantage that the license creates for you is you have to disclose in all your marketing that you're a licensed realtor. Okay. And if you want to unwind that, you have to find the steps to do that, or you just let it expire naturally. If your license expires, I don't know, like, does that make you still ethically obligated to disclose this? I would die if I had to on all my. So unlike your bandit signs, are you going to have to disclose your licensed realtor?
I didn't put it on there, no.
Okay, you're legally supposed to, just so you know. So like, guys, this is the problem with the license that nobody wants to talk about. It creates incredible burdens on you. And most people get a license because they think it's going to solve like the questionable part of wholesaling. I'm just telling you, it just opens up a whole new portal. I just spoke to a wholesaler last week. Actually, he posted online. It's out there for everyone to leave. He's been reported. He just got his license 6 months ago. He's been reported 5 times, and he has to sit in front of the board and explain what he does every time. You know who's telling on him is other realtors. And so if you don't have a license, you don't have to do the disclosures. You don't have to do anything because you're only representing yourself. So you'll have to solve that one on your own. I can't undo the license. I'm just telling you, make sure you follow the laws, because I don't want someone taking advantage of you. The biggest downfall of having your license when you do the marketing part on your own is you have to disclose it to everyone by I don't even know it's a law. I guess it's a rule, or you're subject to fines and being disciplined. And
understood.
So that being said, did you have some success working with the bandit signs and cold calling when you worked for the other investors?
Yeah, they were actually getting a lot of deals from them. They were getting a lot of deals from
so in the Phoenix area.
Yeah, in the Phoenix area.
This was
back in around the same time I had my license, which was in 2018. Okay. When I got my license, I mean.
So you already kind of know it works, so you can go ahead and start using it. The disclosure part kind of sucks. I'll just throw it out right now to you. But I'm a big advocate of not doing stuff that you don't like doing. So if you hate cold calling, you're just going to have to find other creative ways to do it. If you got to get some deals to get some money in your pocket to get your marketing budget going, then maybe go, listen, after 3 deals, I'm not going to cold call anymore, or I'm going to find someone to do the cold calling for me and manage it. It's not easy. I'm just telling you, like, it's hard enough to do the cold calls to managing people like that. So you have to come up with a marketing plan, or you're just going to have like random ideas. Yeah. And you're going to suffer from what my wholesalers does. So the first thing is you start with a budget that works for you. Okay. If you don't have $2,000, don't put $2,000 on the budget. Okay. So the good news, you didn't pay me a dime. So you're already up $5,000. Okay. And that would be a really light fee for me to do that. So come up with a budget, find the marketing medium that you feel you'll have the most success with and you believe in, and your conviction's very strong, and then go out and get the list and then execute it and come up with a 1-year plan for the rest of this year. Not 1 month, not 2 months, because that way you can have a spreadsheet, and once a week, you or your significant other or whoever that maybe an accountability partner says, did you make this amount of calls? How many bandit signs did you put out this week? And just because you're going to have some weeks that are just going to be terrible. Yeah. And then you have some weeks like I'm the king, like I'm the best at this. And what I'm trying to do is let you know, like, you are going to go on a massive roller coaster ride, and I'm trying to help you straighten out the track, because you're going to run into this. And if you run wholesaling off of your emotions, you will get killed in this business. So having a plan. So start with a budget. Go, okay, I'm only doing cold calling, and I'm going to do bandit signs. And then you can break it down. And then once you have that, you get your list, and then you come up with a schedule, and you just go, listen, no matter what, this is going to happen. It's going to happen. Even if I'm sick, I'm going to make it happen, or someone's going to help me do it. And
All
that,
right.
guys, this is what it takes to be successful in wholesaling. It's just, you can't do it by feel. It's a hobby then. So
Yeah,
you
of
want to run a
course.
business. You've already kind of proven the model, and you've seen the kind of money they make. So why did they part with you? Is my real question.
I parted with them because I felt like first of all, I didn't like the cold calling, and at the time I was getting paid about 80 cents to $1 per contact.
Yeah.
Which made me at the time I was doing about 90 to 120 contacts a day, using Mojo Dialer, and I felt like I felt like an employee, which is what I was trying to get away from. And so I decided to stop doing that and go try it on my own. But at the same time, when I was on my own, I didn't know what I was doing.
Okay. So do you have you written out what your why is?
So my why is is because I just want to be. I grew up poor,
Mm-hmm.
and I want to be financially independent and help my family change our family tree.
Okay.
And now I have my wife and our girls, and I want us to be having a good life.
Here's what I need you got to go deeper with your why, because it just sounds kind of money-ish, and I get it. Like, some money gives you options, but like, one of my biggest thing is I just didn't want to fall in the same trap as I did with my dad. Like, it's just like, I'm just going to bury my kids in time. How can I do that? How can I go to every basketball event, wrestling? When my son wrestled for 4 years, like, we traveled all over the state. I just enjoyed it. It wasn't about like making them this superstar wrestler. He was very good at what he did. He was much better than I ever was. It was just about the commitment, being there, the ups and the downs. Like, so I didn't have that. So when I got my butt kicked in wrestling, I just kind of looked up in the stand. It was just this very empty feeling, man. Like, kids need their parents, and wholesaling allowed it to me. And when you hear this, like, I get emotional about it, and you have to have that emotional connection. So if anything you learned today, you have a belief. Not even worried about that. Your why will bridge the gap between your belief and your conviction, because your conviction is what's going to get you through this. So you've already tested, it works.
Yes.
Just do it. But come up with the plan. Go through freewholesaling.com. Everything's set up there for you. You can make this work. I'm just telling you. I like what you're doing, but you're going to need something a little bit stronger to get through, and you're going to have to come up with a plan. And here's the thing is, you're not going to know everything when you start doing this. And the person that wants everything done, they never, ever get started. And I'm telling you, that is the biggest challenge with it. Most people complicate the heck out of this business. They make it like it's some big secret. I already tell you why, like, it's a big secret. It's just so they can get into your pocketbook. So why not just make it free and make it work? You've already tested out. You've already had some success, man. I would be super excited because you already know it works. You just got to come up with a plan. So take some of the actions. Probably some of the stuff you hated that they did, I'm sure.
Yeah. And I mean, I'm not against 100% not doing cold calling. I'll do it if I have to do it. I just want to know, if I have to do it 3 hours, 4 hours, 6 hours,
I would do it till you get your first 5 deals and come up with a nice marketing budget to where you can start getting inbound leads and really scale that sucker.
No, I see lately you're pushing the probates lead, and
I've always pushed it, buddy. I missed out in the first 9 years, and I'm trying to make up and tell everybody. Every county is different. There's always challenges. I just tell you, the only way you beat resistance is with persistence, and it works well. The nice thing about probates is they're cheap. They don't take a lot of time, and it is a big patience game, and you have to learn to listen to people. So it's not like you're making 10,000 phone calls with a probate. They're really like easy. Who's ever most consistent with probates dominates them. Here's everyone. I tried probates, didn't work. Okay. You're 95% of the people do probates that way. That's how, that's just the difference. Like, everybody starts probates, nobody ever finishes them, because everybody wants to make money today. And sometimes you got to be patient to make money. If I told you to plant $1 and you could come back and turn it into $1,000 6 months later, would you do it?
Yes.
That's what you're doing in probates. So many wholesalers are trying to run everybody over to get the money today. If you want to play this long game, if you want to make a couple extra 100,000 a month, do probates. If you don't, then don't do them. I don't care. People like the instant gratification of wholesaling, and that's one of the problems with this business. So here's one last
fact. That's why
fact.
I've never been successful with it before either, because I haven't had the patience to keep. And now,
You just,
as I get older, I
it's so
realize I need to
easy
be
to set
patient.
on automation and just kind of move on. But so like my average probate deal to this year, I'm not even looking, I don't have the number sheet in front of me, but it's well in excess of 50,000, like minimum. Like that's I'm talking about wholesale assignment fees. I'm not rehabbing. I don't rehab anything. Like
Wow.
I'm a lipstick guy. I'm a hotel
Yeah.
guy. I honestly, I could rehab 50 houses a year. Why? It's not my passion. It's not what I do. And by the time you pay all the people involved in, how much money are you really making?
Yeah.
So most of you got a rehab crew, you got a partner, you got a coordinator. Dude, all these people cost money. You know this. So how long did you work for those guys in the business?
All in all, about a year and a half or
Okay.
2 years.
So guys, I'm here to tell you, he is a prime example and he's proof. This is what the typical wholesaler does with acquisitions people. It is such a revolving door. Nobody believes me on this. I've been through them. Guys, I've been through probably a dozen acquisitions manager. Now, some of them I fired, some of them they left. They're like really good people. It's just, that's the problem. People always hire acquisitions person to solve my problem. The problem is it takes 3 months to get them really up to speed. And you probably agree with that. And that's if they're good. And then
Yep.
you spend a lot of time with them. So if they leave in 1 year, did you really help your business out or did you create a revolving door? And I tell people, don't hire an acquisitions person till you're up to your ears in deals. Like you have to get help. It's not something you want to do right off the beginning. And you're the prime example. I would bet you on the acquisition manager in this business. Nobody ever talks about wholesaling. It's a 90% turnover rate. Always. You know why? Because I talk to people all over the country and it's our biggest problem. So, we're fortunate enough, like we find people, we try to find them organically. We stop using Indeed, Craigslist, it's just a waste of time. They're in it for the paycheck. They get it. They get out. Something comes up their life and they move on. So what else you got?
Yeah, so that was golden right there. I mean, if I got a cold call, that's what I'm gonna do.
Just do it, but just say if 5 deals or 10 deals, and then I'm out, and then I'm going to train someone, and then you'll really get your cold calling dialed in. I always tell people, do not hire someone to cold call until you've fought the battle yourself.
Yes.
So I want you to do it for yourself, and then you'll know how to manage that person, and you got to be on top of it. So, like, listen, you know this works. Just go all in. Like I'm telling you, like you have this figured out. The days of sitting here calling 10, 30,000 people and having this big office, guys, it's like, I don't know if these people are making money in the day when you do all that, because it's very, very expensive to turn those operations.
Yes.
And they only know after they do their taxes if they make any money. I'm talking about making an incredible amount of money working. When you get efficient in wholesaling, I'm telling you, it's easy.
Now, back then, also absentee
crazy.
Absentee owners, is that still a good list to pull?
I mean, it is. It's washed down. I don't care if they're absentee or they like. In the old days, we used to cherry pick because it was easy.
Right.
Everybody knows. So honestly, if everyone's going to chase the absentee owners, I'll just chase all the owners.
Right. Gotcha.
And then just look at like the you got
do
it.
what everybody else is not doing.
I know. So it's like I just think it's just a little bit beaten, but all these lists recycle, man. Stuff's so the funny thing is the stuff that like worked in the old school stuff, the stuff I started out, it works really well now because people have abused. I'm just going to say it out here. Any type of disruptive marketing, RVM, cold calling, texting, it's so automated and so scaled, it's washing down the returns. And now we're getting back to the old school driving for dollars, mailing to people. I'm like, I told you guys a long time ago, this is why I exited out of coaching in 2013, 14, because I saw the epic disaster happening. And now everyone's like, okay, what do we do? The market's getting ready to change. Dude, none of these people teaching wholesale out here have a few of them been through it, but for the most part, they just think everything goes up. And I'm just here to tell you, there's going to be change. It doesn't really matter in wholesaling because we're exiting on today's price. So it doesn't matter, but it is nice. You can cherry pick a couple deals, throw them in your portfolio, do what you want with them. So, you got it, man. Like, come up with your marketing plan. And if you want, when you get back on a call, we can go into more detail with it. And you go, hey, this is my marketing plan. Here's the budget. What do you think of it? And if you want, you put on an Excel sheet and you can share it on the screen and we can all learn from it. We'll cover up some of the numbers for you, but just come up with a plan. I'm not so interested in the numbers. It's the frequency. but you got to do it for the entire year. So you're already in May. So June, July, and just start spelling it all out. And
Yeah, I just started about a week and a half ago. So
yeah, because if you try to do it by feel and like I feel right, dude, it's a dude. I did that. Like I'm not gonna sit here and lie to you, man. I ran my entire business for 5 years off of a yellow pad because I knew everything up here. So to grow, you got to get outside your comfort zone and do things. So you work for somebody else. You want to work on your own. Get to that 100 grand, and then just start bringing in some people to help you out in the business.
all right, Rick. Thank you very much. You've answered my questions perfectly. Thank you.
Okay, man. You got it, man. I'll see you, bud.
Have a good one.
Okay, guys. So listen, I didn't ignore people on the stream. Just sometimes I can't multitask as good as everybody else, but I go through all the comments at the end of the show too. So I hear everything you guys say. If you guys want to join these live masterminds, just go to Wholesaling Houses for Real. It's our Facebook group. If you're on TikTok, you can join there. And if you guys missed any of the video, the cool thing is it's recorded. You can go on YouTube. Now, we told you yesterday, we're diversing a little bit to split up our content so you guys can find it more easily. So there's a Wholesaling Houses for Real YouTube channel. We're going to put all our lives, the highlights on there to help you guys. And you can see other people's things and get a lot of your questions answered. Obviously, Flip with Rick. You know where to find me all the time. And then the other one, Rick Ginn, has his own YouTube channel. And I have my own YouTube channel, Rick Ginn. Guys, do us a favor, subscribe to him. And then I'll put on like some more private content on there. We'll have some fun with it. And then Zach does a lot more of the techno stuff and some of the investing on it. And we'll have a lot of fun with it. So,
Hey, Rick.
Yeah.
Hey, sorry, I was on a work call. I keep missing you.
Okay, Sam, you got 2 minutes. Let's go. I pulled you on, so I didn't hear you, so I wasn't sure if you were there. Let's do it.
So I heard you on earlier with, I can't remember her name, but the reason I wanted to call in, and you guys started talking about like business structure a little bit, LLCs compared to S corps compared to C corps. I was wondering if you could dive into that a little bit more. Like, say I'm making 600 grand a year.
Yeah, no, you got to listen. I'm gonna stop you right there. Call an accountant. I'm not here to give like financial. Like I just, if you're making 600 grand a year, like
you can afford an accountant.
I'm not an accountant, dude. You don't want me doing it, dude. I got my own. Like, I
figured you'd say that.
I try to stay into it because it's all I'm trying to get people is to make their first 100 grand and give them a tax problem.
Yep.
You want a tax problem, guys. You want a tax problem.
Yep.
And if you're not paying enough in tax, it means you're not making enough money. So create a tax problem. And then you go, but I've gone through it. I've gone from LLC. I've gone from S corp. I've gone to C corp. And if I told you what I paid in accounting fees, you wouldn't even believe me. Like, honestly, I look at the bill. I go, okay, well, I guess it's like, it's better you than me. But I still, I have to learn and study it. I have to understand accounting terms, balance sheets. Like, that's a real crash course when you start making money. Like, you got to, okay, what's this, what's that, and understand how depreciation works on properties, closing costs, and all this fun stuff. Guys, these are good problems to have. I'm trying to give them to you, but honestly, you don't want my tax advice because you're not going to like it. Because
I'm trying to like.
So you got any other wholesaling questions or anything like that?
I do, but I don't want to. Okay. I don't want to keep
so do me a favor, hop on. I'll be on next week. We're on 4 times.
Sure.
We'll help you out. Yeah, but just like, guys, can you respect that I stay in my area? I do not talk about digital assets. I do not talk about TFNs. I don't talk about the stock market because I'm just like you guys. I'm trying to figure that out. I'm really good at real estate and wholesaling. And if you understand that, respect it. I do not sit here and tell you what religion. I don't tell you where to give your money to. I just want to help you out, get to that 100 grand because everything else is a complete distraction. Guys, you got 2 ways to vote in this world, especially online. You vote with your time. I appreciate everybody attending this and subscribing to it. And you vote with your wallet. If you're going to buy a $5,000 or $10,000 wholesaling course, I'm telling you, I give it to you for free. What do I get out of it? I just want to help as many people as I can. And I actually enjoy doing this stuff. I don't have to be on here. I'm just on here because I want to be. So, Sam, sign on next week. Ask me or Zach, but we're not going to do financial questions. Okay.
Yep. Thanks, Rick. I appreciate you.
Man, have a good one. Okay.
I appreciate it.
Okay. So full disclosure, my team got their butt handed to them yesterday. So I'm a Miami Heat fan. So it was painful, but hats off to Boston. So anybody wants to rag on me, just go ahead and do it. I got it. So Mason, I see you. What's up, Rick? What's up, Justin? If you guys want to call in, just make sure you join the Wholesaling for Houses for Real. The link is on there, guys. This is it Friday, guys. If you didn't learn anything, is make sure you have a why strong enough to connect your belief to your conviction. If you strongly believe in something, it's so easy to help people out, because sometimes you got to help people that don't even understand how to help themselves. And that's what a job as a wholesaler. I want you guys to go out there and help as many people as possible. In return, you will get the financial freedom and the time back, because time is the most important thing on this earth. Wholesaling has given me the time to connect with you guys, and I appreciate each and every one of you more than you can ever imagine, guys. Join me on YouTube, Flip with Rick Ginn, Zach Ginn, Wholesaling Houses for Real. I will see you guys next week. You guys have an awesome weekend. Go out there and get some deals, and I'll see you soon, guys.